London's LBC 97.3.
Hello.
0870 90 90 973.
Nick Abbott.
And remember, darling, I don't work before 10 in the morning and never after 4:30 in the afternoon.
Summer is already here, according to a survey of Mother Nature itself. Blooming hawthorn flower. Oh, by the way, I am not Ian Lee.
Oh, no.
That's right. Yes, summer is already here. We're not experiencing spring right now. This is actual summer proper. You're furrowing your brow, Chris. You remember summer, don't you?
Yeah, but when was spring then?
Well, we went straight from winter to summer.
How did that happen?
I don't know, mate.
Oh.
Blooming hawthorn flowers, whatever they look like, and the return of migrating swifts, blimey, start again. Hey, my brain is still playing
rock and roll
from the other place. Talk about a mad dash. Anyway, blooming hawthorn flowers and the return of migrating swifts, the traditional end of spring, are happening around 3 weeks earlier than the May 11th average. We're 3 weeks ahead. Hooray! Dr. Kate of the Woodland Trust, which conducted the Spring Watch survey, says it's an example of climate change affecting our wildlife and seasons. It almost looked like it was snowing today. There's some sort of tree that gives off a little white
cherry
thing.
blossom, isn't it?
Is that what that...
Yeah.
No, because the cherry blossom is the colour of the actual blossom itself.
Yeah.
Often cherry-coloured.
And you've got the white
Pink.
cherry blossom.
Pink and yellow and green and blue. Orange and purple and grey.
Green, grey.
I can see a rainbow. Everybody!
A pretty rainbow. Rainbow too.
Wow, it's just fabulous, isn't it? Where is he today? Yes? You're thinking...
Yeah, some corporate thingy.
What?
That's as much... I did make a point of trying to find out, because I knew you'd ask me, and
Yeah.
all I managed to get was some corporate thingy.
Well, what does he tell his listeners? They
I'm not
rely on him.
All they get is, I'm not in tomorrow.
Really?
See you Friday.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Well, they're distraught at home. I bet they are.
Well...
This bloke more than most. Hello, John.
Welcome to the new interactive Choosing Between Two Things service. Would you like me to A, tell you what my favourite number is, or B, tell you what the Albanian leader Enver Hoxha said about the situation in Czechoslovakia on the 21st of April 1968?
Yes. So, as I was saying, it seemed to be snowing today. Like I was out there waiting on the platform, waiting and waiting and waiting. And I said on Saturday night, by the way, there's very bad news coming up for us poor types who have to take the tube. They're going to raise the fares, and they're going to tell us that we asked them to do it. I took a big survey. I was accosted by a nice woman on the street, and it took forever to get through this thing. And it eventually occurred to me that the reason that I'm doing this, and that they're dragging people in at vast expense, which undoubtedly we'll pay for, was that they the aim was to tell us that the price rises that they're about to put upon us are what we asked them to do.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Which part don't you get?
All of it.
I explained it more clearly on my show on Saturday night, which was a humdinger, if I do say so myself, and you want to go and download it, mate. Are you with LBC's premium podcast service called LBC Plus, which is available at lbc.co.uk?
I believe I do have...
Oh, you want to get straight down there, mate.
Okay.
Get your iPod out.
Oh, wicked.
Anyway, it seemed like it was snowing today. I was standing on the platform, minding my own affairs. Da-da-da-da-da. That was...
That's you minding your own affairs.
Yeah, well, it's a rock and roll classic. Alex Harvey did it, and, many and various different old blues people did it. Framed. Framed. Oh, you've got to keep up. Step into the 70s, mate. And it seemed like it was snowing. What was that, then? It was some tree divesting itself of its little things. But it was Mother Nature having, it was having sex with itself.
But it's not windy enough for it to blow all those little things off.
Well, you wouldn't think so, but yes, it is. Yes.
Okay.
A little light breeze, because they come on... See, I'm going to demonstrate that I know nothing about nature now, but when they burst from the little pods, or whatever they're in, They are quite firmly attached to the tree on which they sit, but then, eventually when nature, feels a bit horny, then they release themselves, and I don't know what happens next. They have sex with each other in the air and then make trees.
But do you know what it really is?
You sound like you're talking with your head in a bucket, dear.
Do you know what it really is?
What?
Hang on.
You're the engineer, you're supposed to be in control of all these levels.
Every time.
Well, I know, every time.
Right, do you know what it really is?
What?
It's the wood pigeons. They're quite big, aren't they?
Wood pigeons? I don't think so.
Yes, they're quite big.
Yeah.
They're having a little bit of sex in the trees, mating, and so
Do they have to do it in the trees?
Well, where else should they do it?
Well, somewhere where the
ground
product...
level.
Yes, exactly.
But then people could walk past, little children could see it.
Yeah, you're right, the Daily Mail would be furious about that, yeah. I didn't think about that. That's me, I'm just not thinking.
Are you not a fan of nature then?
After what it's done to me? Are you joking?
So have you not brought nature into your home and got any plants or anything like that?
Oh, loads of plants, mate. Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh.
I kill them just by looking at them, mind. I prefer plastic plants. You don't have to water them, just a little light dust every now and again. In fact, if they get really dirty, you put them in a dishwasher.
Huh.
I've got a lovely plastic tree with
Really?
plastic.
That's interesting. Please tell me more.
With plastic, well, about as interesting as yours. With plastic apples on. It's fantastic.
What a mood you're in today. Wow, talk about
Just
aggressive.
Chatting with
Just
you
chatting.
and Chrissy here.
What?
Chrissy.
Do you often, does blood often flow in a little light chat with you? A plastic apple tree?
And everybody who comes to my house makes a really nasty remark about it.
I bet they do.
I wouldn't come to your house, Nick, and comment on your...
You're absolutely right, because I'm not going to give you my address. Not now, not ever, never.
I know where you live.
Very wise.
You're not that nut who emails me about 10 times a day, are you?
And the other one.
You are, okay,
Why would you
right.
have a plastic
Yeah.
plant?
Good question.
It's about 4 foot high and about 2 foot wide, and then you've got these lovely, sort of little ruby apples all around. Lovely, lovely, lovely.
But you can't eat them.
No, but it looks beautiful.
I've never heard of such a thing. A plastic apple
You
tree.
get them in the, those sort of pound shops.
Pound
And
stretcher.
there was a whole row of them. There were orange trees, there
In
were
pound
apple
stretcher?
trees. Yeah.
Pound stretcher.
Or shops like that, cheapy shops.
Right. Not a top person's store.
No,
Right.
don't claim to
Shop there.
shop there
No, quite
anyway.
right too.
And I love it because it looks cheap, it looks nasty, but it's
And it fits
small.
right in with the rest of your...
And it fits,
decor.
it fits in the corner there, and everyone hates it.
You're so contrary-wise. Isn't she, Jessica?
Yes, she is, actually. I was just going to say to you very quickly, you said about your stupendous Saturday show.
Oh, yeah.
Up until Monday, around about 10:30, if you podcasted that show, you got the Psycho show, the Psychic.
Well, that might explain why there's... Well, no, I better not say what I was just going to say. If you podcasted my show from last Saturday...
Yeah, up until 10:30 on Monday morning.
Yeah.
If you downloaded your show,
Right.
in case you missed it or something,
Yeah.
because it's on sociable hours,
Right.
you got the Psychic show.
Well, you know whose fault that is?
Well, Lucy.
Exactly. Luby Lou's
That's
fault.
what I thought I'd tell you, so you've got a bit of ammunition for next week.
Well, it came to my attention that it didn't pick up as many podcasts as my super shows normally do.
I sent an
And that's the
email.
reason why, eh?
I sent an email to LBC Podcast Help and Support,
Oh, yeah.
saying I thought your show had been possessed because it wasn't you. And Rob Hooker,
He's a very nice man.
yeah, that's quite a name, isn't it?
Moving on.
He sent me, I sort of sent an email saying, can you sort it? And he sent me an email back just saying, it's now sorted.
There.
But that was 10:30 on Monday. So
And
I
he's a
don't know.
very important... He's a VIP in this building, and he took the time to write you a little note. See?
But I just wanted to say, if anyone downloaded your show before 10
Yeah.
sort of 30 on Monday, they might not get the kind of correct impression because there was a load of lunatics.
So it was a spy... that's a spy report. Thanks very much for keeping me up to date
You're
about
welcome.
Lucy's continual failures, Jessica. Okay. You keep your eyes peeled, all right? Thanks a lot. I'm gonna slap her wrist when I see her next.
Don't touch me! I'll kill you!
So they opened their big mouths, and out came talk. Talk, talk.
Hey, Bill. Exciting Bill in Bromley.
No, you haven't started that, have you?
Well, I'm just reading what's written on the screen.
Yeah, well, tell Chris not to put it up there.
Right, don't put it up there. Told.
What was it?
Quite right, you don't sound that exciting.
No, I'm not.
A misnomer. I'll score it out.
Yeah, okay. Do you think Clive Adrian has wafted off to the BBC to get...
Clive, Adrian, I'm guessing Ian is what you mean.
Ian, yeah, sorry. I'll get it right one day.
You're like my mum trying to remember the names of her sons. So she goes through a list. Many of the names she comes up with aren't even in our family.
We'll have to give you numbers like you've given everybody else numbers at one stage, I think. I wonder if he's wafted off to the BBC, you know, for an interview for old Poo-Poo's job, you know?
Poo-Poo's job? Who's Poo-Poo? Who's Poo-Poo? I
hesitate to ask. Speaking about, or what's it was speaking about him, wasn't he? Nick Ferrari, it's
well-remembered,
Terry Wogan.
Right. Okay, Phil.
Only he was going on all last week about...
On and on, yeah. About...
getting his job.
Was he?
Because he failed up on the other, the European Song Contest thing.
Right. Well, I can tell why they call you exciting, Bill. It's like my heart's racing as soon as you started talking. Certainly has been a pleasure. You've opened my eyes. Thanks a lot, Bill. I'll send you some coffee in the post, all right?
Now, where'd you get that from?
I just open my mouth and out it comes.
Yeah, I know.
This is LBC 97.3. I'm Nick Abbott in for Ian Lee, and we're still trying to figure out where Ian's gone. So he's gone to see if he can't take over from Terry Wogan. That's the latest theory. Any more theories? You say he's doing a corporate thing. He's gone to a corporate function, or he's hosting a corporate function?
Hosting one, I think.
Oh, well, there's big money in that. Huge.
That's why he's not here, I guess.
Right. So he had, that's an outrageous thing to admit. Did he admit that on the air, or did he tell you that privately?
Oh, it may have been private.
Right, so...
Oops.
Yes.
The bosses aren't in there, so...
well, they can listen. Are you aware that this is being broadcast? We're actually on the radio now with this thing.
What?
Yeah. Well, in fact, we're the only thing on LBC 97.3 right now. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
Or you could say we are the best thing right this moment
on LBC. Yeah,
this is as good as it's going to get right now.
Well... You just went... The first part of what you said was excellent. The second part, not so much. I thought that was a bit of a slap in the face with a wet fish.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But from you, it's only to be expected.
No, it was actually a compliment.
Oh, I
it's
see.
just the way I say it.
Righto. Here's Langley. Hello, Dion. Dion? Oh, Dion. Dion's gone.
He'll be there.
Will he? What do you mean he'll be there?
It just takes a while for him to pick up.
Oh, I see. Now I'm in conference call. I hate when that happens. Why do people leave this thing on conference? And I don't know how to get out of it. Oh, help me, please help me. I need your help. Mr. Anxious.
All of which makes me anxious. At times unbearably so.
Langley. Hello, Dion.
Hello, Adrian. Sorry. Sorry, Adrian.
There seems to be a thread here. Who the hell's Adrian?
Yeah, it's Adrian Allen I was listening to.
Right, Adrian Allen's not on, mate.
No, I know he's not. No.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, great. What's up, Dion?
I've got a nice plant in my house.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah, it's growing quite loud.
Growing quite loud?
Yeah, it is. It's growing quite big.
You said loud?
Yeah, that's what I call it.
Right.
Yeah, it's, you know.
Oh, he's died. Or he's just looking wistfully at his plant, thinking... Groovy. All right, thanks, Dion.
All right, then, mate.
Cheers, mate.
It's a valued contribution.
Yeah.
It's London's biggest conversation.
It's always an eye-opener when I sit in for Ian. It's always... it's like it's a peek at the flip side.
Yes.
Of life, in general. So anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, it was snowing outside. The Tweety birds are back. The Tweety birds are back. Like I can't remember when. It's almost as though the English garden has burst into song, like in the good old days. You remember the good old days, don't you? It were grand when I were a lad. You see, when I were a lad, beer was warm, and the thwack of leather on willow didn't necessarily mean a prostitute's dungeon in King's Cross. It was all about cricket on a summer's day on a village green, and can't remember where this was going. Oh yeah, birds. Tweety birds in the sky with their little songs. And lovely it was. And they're, talk about back with a vengeance, they just don't shut up.
Annoying, aren't they?
Well, well, it depends. If it's 5 o'clock in the morning and the one's sitting outside your window going like that all night long, then yes, it is annoying. But generally, I think it's quite beautiful, don't you? I mean, if you were an insect, of course, it would fill you with horror because they would bite you in half and swallow the bit that's wriggling. But for us, I think it's a beautiful thing, and I've just noticed it. This, because I study nature.
Out your window?
Yeah, like Dion. I'm very interested in plants and everything that has to do with them. And the bees, which are huge at the moment, by the way, the ones that we haven't killed with our mobile phones.
They're back.
The size of Volkswagens they are. What's going on there? It's like Attack of the Killer Bees.
And they look quite blood red, rather than that sort of pale orange.
Bees?
Yeah.
Red?
Yeah. I had 4. They might have been wasps. To be honest, I couldn't for the first time tell the difference.
What?
Aren't wasps more pointy and bees are round?
Yeah, but they were kind of fat.
Yeah.
And I thought at first they were wasps, then I thought they were bees, then I thought they were... Because I know what they both look like.
Bees are more furry.
Yeah, it was kind of
Yeah, but who wants to get
furry.
that close?
No, I had 4 of them in my kitchen over the weekend. Not all together, but one after the other.
Oh, right. So it wasn't like they were having a party around.
They're wasps then, because bees wouldn't go inside, would they?
They were big,
Bees
though.
wouldn't go inside.
Well, no, it's like...
Maybe they put a little advert on that My Face website. There's a party over at Helen's place. Bring 200 of your close mates and we'll trash it.
But wasps build their nests in houses, don't they?
Wasps build their nests in houses, yes, that's right. Sometimes they do, yeah.
But bees don't.
Can you believe that stupid kid that invited all those people over to her parents' house? The last thing they said before they left was, don't have a party. And what she heard was, have a party. Completely missing the word don't.
But did you like the photo of her, which was out of focus?
Yeah, didn't she have a can of beer in her hand?
There was another one, it was kind of like a passport photo, which could have been from any decade from the 70s onwards, and then the parents didn't want to be recognised, didn't want to go on camera.
No, quite right too. Although I did see a picture of them. I can't remember where, but the tabloid press will dig this stuff up. Have they brought her back into the fold yet?
No.
Well, I hope not. I hope that she's out forever. She should be thrashed to within an inch of her life.
That's not fair.
No, it is fair. People have to accept responsibility for their own actions. It's like, oh, it's not my fault. Like that. It's like the whole country's like that. Pathetic.
She's just a victim of.
Oh, shut up!
The technology.
No, she
that's around
isn't.
at the moment. If
I'll come over my
wasn't
place
invented,
and we'll wreck an ordinary 4-bedroom house.
If this was
nothing
like
to do
20
with
years
her.
ago, it would have just been an innocent little party. But because of the MySpace, everyone sent a invite to their friends, and everyone came.
Yeah, and who could have told that? Who could have predicted that putting an advert on the internet with your address saying "Come over, it's a party" would have attracted more than the few individuals that she actually knows personally. I know, it's just incredible that would happen, isn't it? What's amazing is that people find that people would go over there and just think, great, it's a house, let's just rip it apart. I mean, what kind of mentality is that? All of these people should be flogged, am I right?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Instead, well, they'll get asked politely if they wouldn't mind not doing it again, and here's an iPod, because we don't want you to be upset. We're not telling you off. We're just very cross. Not cross, mind, but we're... Oh, I don't know, pick a word that's not negative. We're unhappy.
Confused.
All while stroking their hair. Poor little babies. Pathetic, innit? Let's bring back the birch, that's what I say. Let's flog them. Let's put them in stocks. What do you say, Helen?
Why not?
Yeah, okay. Sure, why not? Let's have Dion in Langley again. Let's go for Catford. Oh, Trixie.
Hello.
Trixie.
Thanks for taking me. I hope you've forgiven me.
You what?
Oh, no, it's all right. You've obviously forgiven me.
For what?
I was going to say that a long time
You're passing over this. What have I got to forgive you for? Can't remember.
Exactly. We've forgotten.
Well done.
When I was a kid, I actually played Dr. Birch in a play. And,
forgive me for being stupid, but who's Dr. Birch?
Oh, it's a Christmas character. And, I had to go around singing, spare the rod and spoil the child. And, it was actually quite funny. But that was when I was 11 years old, and I think the girl was stupid. And she was wearing a wig in the photograph, I think.
Was she?
Yes.
What's she wearing a wig for? She's like 16 years old.
I know, it's crazy. By the way, how's your mouse?
How's my what?
Your mouse.
My mouse?
Yes.
What, you saw a mouse?
Yes.
There on the stair.
Everybody.
Where on the stair? Right there. A little mouse with clogs on. Well, I declare, going clip-clippity-clop on the stair. Oh, yeah.
That's not my mouse, that's Luby Lou's mouse. Lucy, who I work with on Saturday night, she's adopted this little mouse that's, she's got rats in the kitchen. What am she going to do? And she screwed up my podcast again on Saturday night, having screwed it up the previous week. I'm going to stamp on that mouse.
Anyway, I'm glad you're still working there.
I'm not going to stamp on that mouse, by the way. Let me recant that immediately.
Order! It's LBC 97.3. 0870 90 90 973. Nick Abbott.
Do you mind if I say a few words? Thank you.
Thank you. So the crime in London is down, said the Met Office. They've just released statistics.
Yeah.
Anybody believe that?
No.
They must have had a team massaging those statistics. That's what they say, isn't it? Statistics, lies, damn lies and statistics. Not that I'm saying that they're lying or anything. But, Deptford, hello, Les.
Hello, matey, how you doing?
I'm all right, thanks.
Listen, I live in Kent, and not too far away from Deptford, but red-tailed bees are quite common in my garden in the early part of any year.
I've never heard of them.
Yeah, they're the first ones to come out of their little holes in the ground in my garden.
And do they call them red-tailed bees because they've got red tails?
They're bees.
With red tails? I've never seen or heard of a bee with a red tail.
Where do you normally reside? Where do you live? London, central London?
Yeah, London, yeah.
Yeah. Where does this young lady who has the red-tailed bees, where does she live?
Where do you live, Helen?
Yeah, sure, it's Neil, yeah?
Oh.
Where?
Stoke Newington.
Right, Stoke Newington way.
Yeah, of course, it's not London.
In Hackney.
Yeah, that's right. That's, wild lad.
Says you near Deptford.
There's actually bees in Stoke Newington, normally dipped in blood.
Hence the red tail.
All the shooting's going on. Anyway, that's what happens. Red-tailed bees come out first, and then the yellow-tailed and, standard black and yellow come out later.
Right. Okay, well, look, thanks a lot, Les. It was a little update from our nature correspondent.
He got on my nerves.
Oh, poor baby.
Dissing Hackney.
Well, he's gone now.
Well,
Hackney is a lovely borough.
It is.
And I love to spend a lot of time in Hackney.
Which bit?
Here is Hendon. Hello, David.
Hello there. How are you, Nick?
I am all right, thanks.
Very, very good. I want to just comment on your bringing back the birch.
Oh, yes.
I very much agree. I think regimental beating will do everyone some good.
Quite right, too, yeah.
Yes, and I think it might take yardism out of the school system. You'll have these people walk around going, look, yeah, I see, I'm like rock hard, yeah, and then you give them a good smack and they'll talk normally. What do you think?
Well, I'll pass that suggestion on, David. All right, thanks a lot, mate. We really are sorting stuff out on this show, ain't we? What was I going to say? Taxi drivers are smelly.
Are they?
Says the government. Criticised for smelling, spitting, and threatening behaviour, and threatening the capital's Olympic image, the capital's taxi drivers have now been told what to wear and when to wash. Have you heard about this?
No.
A 12-point code of conduct published by the local government yesterday gives advice on points ranging from hair colour to personal hygiene. It warns that drivers will be suspended for 2 days if their cab smells, and that they should avoid a weird appearance. Female drivers must not wear big, chunky earrings or dye their hair odd colours, says the Deputy Head of Traffic Management. Male drivers should not wear their hair long.
What's eye colour got to do with it?
Hair colour.
Oh.
Eye colour. There's an obsession now that the capital mustn't allow the country to lose face during the forthcoming Olympics. During last month's annual session of Parliament, one delegate said that 60% of cabs were smelly. This is in China, by the way. Did I mention that?
No.
No.
Oh.
Oh, great relief all round, eh? I had an interesting cab ride on the way home, on the way here. Not home. I'm not home. I normally talk like this when I am at home, but I have to remember that I'm not at home.
But maybe you are. Maybe mentally this is where you're most at home.
Well, you could be absolutely right, yeah. Maybe I am actually on my lounger right now, watching TV.
And we're opposite you.
Yeah, and all this is a dream.
In the big chairs, and there's a big coffee table, and we're all just chatting away, enjoying each other's company.
Yeah.
I've got my slippers on.
I can't wait to step out of the shower and it all be a dream. Yeah, have you seen that bloke called Bear Grylls?
Who?
Yeah.
Bear Grylls. Can you imagine a more masculine name than that? First name Bear, second name Grylls. Not Flambés, Grylls.
That's made up.
Do you know what I thought about him?
I wouldn't tell him that. What?
I saw one of the programmes and he ate, I think it was a fish, a live fish. Is that the guy?
This has got... Well, let me give you a little background, okay, Chris? Bear Grylls. He's, I think he's an ex-Special Forces hero. One of our boys up the front, something like
he's
that.
He's ex-SAS.
And he's the kind of bloke who throws himself out of a plane with just his T-shirt on and a pair of shorts. Will grab an eagle on the way down, pluck its feathers and form a parachute for himself and land safely in the middle of a pride of lions, who he'll then wrestle for their lunch.
Brilliant.
That kind of bloke. You know, it's just ridiculous, off the scale heroics. I mean, he's like some sort of cartoon character, isn't he?
Mm.
He makes you and I, Chris, look about as masculine as a pink hairdryer.
That's a bit of an unfair comment.
But true.
It's absolutely true, I'm sorry to say.
Okay.
He's on Saturday night. I can't believe that more people haven't heard about this bloke, because it's just extraordinary what he does, isn't it?
He found a dead goat, didn't he? And he was showing us, here's the dead goat, and you could
Probably
see all...
bit its throat out,
No. You could see all its entrails, and there was blood,
lovely.
and it said it's starting to rot.
Poor little goat.
So you think, what's he going to do? So he goes into the stomach of the goat, picks out the maggots, and starts eating the maggots.
Oh, come on.
Because they're full of protein.
Oh, bound to be. Maggots?
But you know what I thought when I first saw that programme?
You felt ill?
He'll be on Richard and Judy.
Now, he could actually dispense some justice over at Richard and Judy's place, couldn't he?
That was my first thought, besides anything else.
I'd like to see Richard give him some of his smart mouth.
Oh, they loved him.
Did they? Oh, he's been on Richard and Judy already.
He's been on it, yeah, and
well,
then I saw him on it.
It's Channel 4 massaging themselves.
Yeah.
And how did he go down? I bet Judy could barely contain herself.
They showed loads of clips, and they showed one with the frog, where he's eating it's really cute, tiny little frog.
Yeah.
And they freeze-framed it just as he was about to bite its head off.
Yeah, he does that a lot. It's really upsetting. You know, nature programmes are often... Chris is looking really upset now.
Why does he just eat animals?
Because it's a survival programme, right? They throw him out of a plane in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and then he has to make his way out. The fact that there's an entire camera crew there with him is something that you're supposed to forget, right? Because the camera crew aren't survival specialists, and they're not going without water or food, so presumably they're catered. There's probably like a van following them, with, three choices of hot and cold meals and, got salads and every kind of drink that's under the sun. Channel 4 catering. He, meanwhile, is affecting to starve to death and, burn in the heat. I ain't got no shade, but you bet the cameraman has got shade, because they're union, aren't they?
Yeah.
So don't forget that there's an entire film crew, at least a cameraman and a sound man, and probably a director and the runner and all of these people that are behind him. But I wouldn't question the veracity of the programme to his face, certainly.
But I don't get why he's doing it.
For money? Well, he's a survival expert. He throws himself out into the wild.
We don't need to survive, though. We've got everything we need.
Well, you never know, though, do you?
Because say you're skiing in the Alps, which
Yeah.
I think was the one where he had the maggots. Say you're skiing in the Alps, an avalanche comes down and separates you from the rest of the group.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then how do you make your way back to, you know, a civilization, to other people?
Exactly right. I mean, say you're just climbing on a mountain that looks, well, not even a mountain, like a hill that looks fairly mundane climb.
Yeah, because I do that often.
And you're not an outdoorsy type, are you? And then, you know, the weather comes in and you're sitting up there all night long. How are you going to survive? I mean, people are dying on mountains every day over winter in this country. Never mind about in Switzerland and Pakistan and all of those places. So a little bit of survival skills will, you know, could come in useful. And you never know when you're going to need them until you need them.
How many people has the programme saved so far?
Just him.
Right.
Which is worth it alone.
I mean, he's not going in there to save other people. He's saving himself.
For example, if you...
Much of it looks like a Calvin Klein underwear shoot, doesn't it? I mean,
he's quite sexy,
they have
isn't
sexualised him a little bit, yeah.
Well, he's good looking, isn't he? And he's 35, 6...
I know. I mean, how upsetting is this? He's good looking. He could probably fight a bear and win. And he's rich and... Oh, need I go on? I hate him.
Is he sexy when he's got the blood of a carcass dripping around his chops? Is that sexy?
It's all content, isn't it? Context.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all context, yeah. I mean, you'd be happy he was there if you were stuck in the middle of the Sahara Desert, I bet.
Jump on his back?
Well, yes.
No, for like a lift down a mountain.
Yeah.
But if you fall into ice freezing water...
Okay, this is a tip coming up, I
Right.
can tell. Now pay attention.
And you're in, your body automatically goes into shock,
Yes.
doesn't it?
I'm going to make notes.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm in shock right now.
And then you probably go underneath the water, and that's when people start to draw breath. But
Yeah.
instead of drawing breath, you're going to draw water.
Right.
So what he was saying was, when you go down, just go with the flow and try and get back up
Right.
until you come out of the water, and then breathe, and then try and get out as quickly as possible, or you're dead.
Well, that's just common sense.
Yeah, that's common sense.
Well, it is
Don't
common sense.
breathe in underwater.
But he said that's how people die, is because the shock of the cold
Right.
takes them down. Then they start breathing before... They're breathing in water. They know they're in water.
Yeah, but he's an expert. See, he's been doing this all his life. He did this for a living. If you just plunge into cold water, you know, just some unhealthy slob like us, then we're not going to remember all this stuff. We're doomed. We're doomed,
but
Chris.
You might.
It's educational television, and you absolutely must watch it. It could save your life. If you're with me, you could save mine.
Oh. Well, if he was telling me, like, how to survive, you know, the night bus home, you know, from
I can
Leicester
tell you that. I
Square or
live in
something like that, then,
Yes.
you know,
That's
I'd
right.
probably watch it.
Well, Helen will tell you that. You can watch her.
You know.
That'd be a good idea for a programme.
That would be an excellent idea. Never mind about how to survive in the Sahara Desert. I mean, how many people watching that are going to come under those circumstances? How to survive the night bus home. Exactly right.
There you go.
Thank God for you, Helen. With that idea, we could take it to Channel 4, and by this time next year, we'll be millionaires.
It'll be bigger than Endemol.
It was my idea, though.
No, we're all in it together, Chris.
No, Helen, just you and me.
What?
Oh, right,
yeah, we'll
yeah,
write him
absolutely,
out.
yeah.
Who are you, Chris? Never heard of you. This is LBC. Here's Travel with Amanda Redman.
Well, it's been a nightmare for one rail.
Some nobody.
What? Here is Kenley. Hello, Joanna.
Hi, Nick.
Joanna.
Right, this is probably going to be the least intellectual question you've ever been asked.
I doubt it.
Yes. And it's just I was fiddling about, just switched on the radio, and you've reignited a kind of simmering disagreement between me and my other half,
Oh, no.
which is the mouse with the clogs on.
Yeah.
Yes. And I could swear blind it was by Val Doonican, but my other half said it was either Ronnie Carroll or Dennis Lotus, and we can't remember the name of the blooming song.
Val Doonican, you say? No, but thanks for playing. I believe...
Who was it, then?
Oh, well, I think that your other half is absolutely right. I think
no,
it was...
don't do it, because he's listening. He's on his way home. Don't.
I think it was Ronnie Carroll.
Oh.
There on the stair. There on the stair, right there.
A little mouse with clogs on...
Clippity clop.
On the stair.
But I missed the beginning bit. Why were you playing such a ridiculous song?
I will, see, on my other show, I normally do... Not on my other show, my own...
No, it's not Uncle Nick. It's Nick, another Nick. No. Anyway, so why are you playing it?
Because on my show on Saturday night, Lucy, who normally is supposed to, she's supposed to be in charge, she's moved it into a slum in an inner city, and she's got a mouse in her kitchen. So I just play that song.
But it's Ronnie Carroll.
I believe it is. Yeah, you are wrong. You couldn't be more wrong. What are you?
Jam and Blast. No, I am wrong. But what's it called? Do you know the title of the song?
Yes, I do.
What's it called? Because we tried to look it up in one of our ridiculous anorak encyclopedias. Yeah. What's it called?
I think it's, wait for it. It's...
There on the Stairs?
No, I think it's, a windmill in Old Amsterdam, something like that. I think it's a windmill.
Oh, I'm sorry I phoned
song.
You now.
Well, those
You'd be smuggy.
Those are the breaks, mate.
Mm.
Thanks, Joanna.
Okay, bye.
Ta-ra. Oh, hey. Oh, we should have held her on. Tony.
Hello. Can you just tell her no?
You're gonna have, you're gonna have bragging rights, when you get home, I guess.
Yes, I will do. I've just got to remember, because when that came out, I was about, older than you, I was about, 10 or 11, I suppose. And, in the midst of time, pretty good at music, so she shouldn't have doubted me. I didn't know which one it was, though, but, anyway, it's definitely no. Thank you very much.
All right, Tony.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot. We certainly have, risen the level of debate on this show, haven't we? So, that was, both sides of the argument. One side was, I don't know, and the other side was no. It's almost like, question time, this show, isn't it? Well,
almost.
Yeah. It's Mr. Lister.
Good
Philip
evening,
from
Nick.
South Lorwood. How are you?
The windmill in Old Amsterdam, that was Ronnie Hilton.
Like I said, yeah, Ronnie Hilton.
Ronnie Hilton. I thought you said Ronnie Carroll.
Who, me? No. That must have been another show you're listening to.
Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls, yes.
His name's Edward.
Is it?
Yeah, there was a letter in one of the papers earlier on the week, and it's about him, criticising him, and it also says in the article that he lives in a barge on the River Thames.
Is that a fact? Why was he being criticised?
Well, this woman had written into, I think it was the Times, criticised. She said that in the Radio Times, they always list it as family viewing.
Right.
But she said, how can it be family viewing when he chews up live frogs, fish, and slaughters turtles, even as they wriggle to escape?
Slaughters? Well, that's
what she said.
It's a bit of a strong word, isn't it?
Are we just hard up for entertainment, said this lady.
Well, they try and wriggle to escape.
Yeah, I mean, that salmon was, well, I missed it through me, and then I realised I was eating fish and chips at the time while I was watching it.
I bet they tried to wriggle and escape as well.
Yeah. Did you see him with Harry Hill on Saturday?
No, I don't watch Harry Hill.
Oh, he was the guest on Harry Hill's TB Burp.
Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls, yes. They sang a song together, The Bare Necessities.
Oh, I wish they hadn't done that. I mean, he's a trained killer. What's he doing singing songs with Harry Hill?
Well, I mean, it was because Harry Hill has been featured in his show regularly. I think a lot of people that wouldn't have otherwise have heard about the programme have been watching it because of Harry Hill.
Right. I bet that Bear Grylls gets a bigger audience than Harry Hill.
It's a very good programme, and I was just looking to see, because I think this week is the last one on Saturday.
Maybe he gets killed.
He's going to Mexico's Copper Canyon. 4 times the size of the Grand Canyon, it says here.
Huh. 4 times the size of the Grand Canyon?
That's what it says.
Are you sure about that?
And he says he heads west on a perilous journey towards the I think I've got this right, Chinchilla, the Pacifico Railway.
Chimney.
Yes. So, and he's also going to make a smoke blanket shelter on Saturday.
Well, I literally can't wait.
I mean, I think really, it is interesting. I mean, we all know that he's got this camera crew with him and sandwiches and goodness knows what else, but...
Well, I'm hoping that he doesn't actually have I mean, the crew are fully catered for. I bet they are. I mean, they're probably following him in, 4x4 cars. But I would hope that he doesn't actually partake of any of that and, is abstemious and it's actually real.
It wouldn't matter, really, because I think he's sort of showing you how to cope, and I mean, he's just using that as an example, isn't it?
I suppose you're quite right, yeah.
Did you see that wonderful programme last night about Anchorage, Alaska?
No, I did not.
Well, what it was, I gather in Anchorage, they have decided that they want people and the creatures in the forests around Anchorage to get together.
What?
Yeah. So what they want is they got moose all over Anchorage.
A moose?
look out in your back garden, and there's a moose, and it was a fascinating programme, and what they showed you, how the animals, because of, I mean, like we have with our foxes in this country, that people leave their rubbish out, that the animals come in from the forest scavenging.
Right,
the bears are the worst ones.
Well, yeah. If you think got trouble with foxes, then bears, yes.
Yeah, they showed it, but the moose. I mean, you've been to Canada up that part, haven't you, Nick?
No, I have not. No,
Haven't you? Oh, right.
No. Was there a moose about the hoose?
Well, they were always saying that you must, particularly at night, drive very, very carefully, because you could be driving along and then suddenly, because moose, they come out on the road and they'll stop dead.
Stupid moose.
And if you hit one, the car is going to come off worse than the moose.
Well, I doubt that, but you will get
I mean,
dead.
that's what they say, that people have died because they're going at such speeds.
Yeah, of course, you'll hit the little moose's, the giant moose's little legs, and its entire body will be on the bonnet and through the window,
Yeah. As I say, it's a fascinating place to go. I mean, one place I've never been, Anchorage. And,
I bet they've got insects the size of Volkswagens up there.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, it was amazing. I mean, the bears, they were saying about the way they come in there, because, as I say, because of the food, you know. Where's the most interesting place you've been where there's been wild animals, Nick? I know you've travelled quite a bit.
Well, the Grand Canyon. I hiked down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and forswore those donkeys that people like you would have opted for the donkey, wouldn't you, Chris?
Yeah.
Walk down there. Of course not. No.
Did you go on along the top of the canyon from? Because there's several viewing areas, aren't there?
Well, I walked all the way down.
Right.
I hiked all the way down to the river, and you stay halfway down and sleep overnight, and in this sort of patch of ground, and the guy comes around and says, better not stray too far because you'll get killed by rattlesnakes and or what. And the thing was on a bit of a slope, and you didn't have tents or anything. You were just in a sleeping bag in the big outside. And during the night, I slid down the slope about 6 foot, and I woke up in the morning, and I'm not exaggerating in any way. Open your hand so that all your fingers are stretched and look at it. Are you looking at it?
Yeah.
There was a moth squashed under my head that big. It was huge.
It's amazing. It's amazing because they built this new walkway, haven't they, out over the canyon itself?
Yeah, they have, and they'll not get me out on that.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's like a sort of like the London Eye, really. I suppose.
No, it's not.
I know. I don't mean it goes round, but I mean it's the kind of thing that you've got nothing underneath you.
Right.
Did you go to Page in Arizona for the Slot Canyon?
What's that?
Well, that's the canyon that you walk through, and as Bear Grylls had on the programme, you get just a small part of light coming in the middle, at the top of the canyon. And you can walk through it. It's very, very narrow. Only one person at a time can walk through the canyon. Yeah, we went through this slot canyon near Page.
Well, you didn't wake up with a giant moth in your hair, though, did you?
No, I didn't. I
see.
think a lot of people, like that film, The Mothman Prophecies.
No, nothing like that, no. But anyway, thanks a lot, Philip.
Okay, Nick, all the best.
Yeah, that Bear Grylls thinks he's a man. He hasn't woken up with a moth in his hair. And I was halfway down, not on the way up where I could look forward to a nice shower. I had mock goo covering the side of my face for 3 days. There you are. See, that's how much of a man I am. Squealing like a girl I was. This is LBC.
Excuse me, could you...
London's LBC 97.3. 0870 90 90 973. Nick Abbott.
I just want to tell you all how happy I am to be back in the studio.
Biggin Hill. Hello, Gary.
Hello, Nick.
Gary.
The weather's nice, isn't it? It's, apparently the first cuckoo's been heard today. That must be summer.
A cuckoo?
Yeah.
Really?
I think his name was Dion. But apparently it's down in Sussex somewhere. There's been a couple of cuckoos heard.
I don't really know much about nature. Is that a harbinger of spring?
That's what they usually say. They used to say it's the first sounds of summer. They don't usually come here till May, I don't think.
People used to write the Times with that. The first cuckoo of summer, didn't they?
That's right, yeah, used to be a letter in there, yeah.
What's the difference between a cuckoo sound and a pigeon sound? Because I've often, much to my embarrassment, said, "Oh, that's a cuckoo," and people look at me and laugh and say, "No, it's not. It's a pigeon."
There's a pigeon called a collared dove, which is a slightly smaller pigeon. That does sound just like a cuckoo.
Yeah, cuckoo it went. I thought if it goes cuckoo, it's a cuckoo, right?
If you hear a proper cuckoo, though, you would know the difference.
Well, how does it go?
Slightly different. You're just trying to get me to do it, aren't you?
Yes. Do it.
It sounds, you would imagine, like a cuckoo clock.
And how does it sound?
Cuckoo.
I didn't think you'd do it, but you went ahead and did it anyway.
I thought I'd make you laugh.
All right, thanks a lot, mate.
All right, see ya.
Ta-ta. So what, what do we put down this beautiful weather to? What can we ascribe the onset of summer this early to? That's right, global warming. Isn't it fantastic?
Yeah, it's my best thing that ever happened.
Yeah, isn't it just? Yeah, global warming is the best thing that ever happened, and there's no question about it. I mean, summer starts in April. That's just beyond great, and of course, with May on the way, it could be snowing by this time next week. Let's not forget that. I mean, we do relax our shoulders and think, oh. As soon as it stops raining and being freezing outside, we think, oh, summer's here. Thank goodness for that. But anything could happen in the next 2 weeks. Do remember that. But it does look pretty good, though, don't it? And it's all thanks to global warming. Hip hip?
Yeah.
This is LBC. I'm Nick Abbott in for Ian, and I'll be back after the new news.
London's LBC 97.3.
Hello?
0870 90 90 973. Nick Abbott.
Well, let's get back to it.
So that magazine, I never even heard of it. Pop World, is that what he said it was? Something like that. Pop World. It had one issue and then folded.
You didn't pick up your copy?
I'm afraid not, no. That seems a bit... well, giving up a bit quick, isn't it?
It's a bit sad, isn't it?
One issue, and then that was it. I mean, these things have to build, don't they? I mean, if we rated this show on the, I mean, my show on the first, on the very first show, on the audience that the very first show got, then it would be counted as a giant success. Thanks for saying that, Chris.
Oh.
You interrupted me just in time. Hey. I mean, it's just really weird about writing about music. How can you put music into words? I never really understood that concept, but, the music publications have gone down in readership ever since the heyday of New Musical Express, Sounds and Melody Maker in around about the punk years, I bet, was when they were selling most copies, because Melody Maker was still on their sort of hippie, drippy phase, and the Sounds and New Musical Express were fighting out over who was more punk than the other. And kids were, reading them because you couldn't hear the stuff on the radio, and so you had to, apart from John Peel, and you had to read about it, to keep up. But these days, there's just no end of music that you can hear, and if a radio station isn't playing exactly what you want, you can go and listen to a million streaming stations on the net. So it's kind of like, what's the point? What's the point of music magazines?
Do you not read Mojo or something like that?
No, I don't. Occasionally come, because I subscribe to this music service. It costs me like a tenner a month, and you get 65 download tracks. In fact, I think they're doing a thing with us.
Yeah.
Should I mention them?
Yeah.
E-music.
Yeah.
It's actually quite groovy, because they don't do the major labels, and so you're forced to make eclectic choices.
Okay.
And come the end of the month, it's always like you've got one day to download 65 tracks, and I'm like, oh my God, what more am I going to do? And so I do then, at work, at the other place, where I play all of that.
Rock and roll!
I go and go through the reviews and just pick out the ones that have got 5 stars. Mind you, the people who are writing these things, you probably cross the street to avoid them. Nutters, they probably are, and I'm taking their advice just because it's written down in print,
Yeah.
But it just always, I never really could figure out how I, for instance, could write about music. How can you put music into words? I don't get it.
Well, it's like, it's like the same with movie magazines. Why would you read about a movie? Why don't you just go and see it?
Yes.
Isn't that similar?
I suppose it is, but I mean, who would you rather... I mean, if they're interviewing somebody, would you rather hear what a rock musician has to say, or would you rather listen to what the director of a film has to say? I mean, rock stars, they ain't got nothing to say.
No.
I mean, they just don't, do they? Here's an interview with Keith Richards. And that's it. It's like, where am I, man? Here's Sarah in Greenwich. Hello.
Hello.
Sarah.
That's so true, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought I could cheer you up a bit and tell you a funny story.
Cheer me up? Don't I sound happy? Oh, come off it. What do you mean, cheer me up? Hey, step in here, Chris. Am I cheery?
Yeah.
Yes, Sarah.
Yeah, okay, well, anyway, I thought I'd tell you something quite funny. I thought you would like to hear my fake tan horror story.
Fake tan horror story. All right, lay it on us, baby.
Okay, baby. I bought this new, holiday body lotion stuff because I've been doing loads of coursework, so I haven't been able to go out sunbathing.
Yeah, well, you don't want to do that, though. Sunbathing's very bad for you. Or, it's actually very good for you, and it'll save your life, depending on which newspaper you read.
Well, yeah, but if you use lotion, it's okay.
Oh, the lotion. Put the lotion in the basket. When you're finished, Sarah, put the lotion in the basket.
What was that? I don't get it.
You haven't seen that film? Oh, you must have done.
What film?
It puts the lotion in the basket. You must have seen that film.
What film?
It's, oh, blimey, I've forgotten what it's called. Oh, The Silence of the Lambs. You must have seen The Silence of the Lambs.
I haven't seen it.
Ah?
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen The Silence of the Lambs?
I know, it's disgusting, isn't it?
Well, it's not disgusting. It's just a bit of a gap in your entertainment education.
I don't like films much.
What kind of a thing is that to say? You don't like films?
No, I like film. What I mean is, I'm not a massive film buff. Like, all my friends have seen every film going. It's like, a cool thing to do, go and see the latest film. And
well, you don't have to be a film buff to have seen The Silence of the... It's not Kagamusha. I'm not asking you to sit through a 3-hour Japanese warrior
I love
epic.
Japanese warrior films.
Oh, God, they're
Bollywood.
awful.
They're brilliant.
I sat through Kagamusha. It's that Akira Kurosawa movie, and it was 3 hours of Japanese people shouting at each other. I couldn't stand it.
Brilliant.
Nothing happened. It was just... And they all seemed furious all the time. Like that they were, for 3 hours.
Yeah, people in Bollywood films, they get really angry, and then they suddenly just get up and dance.
Well, no, yeah, it's a culture thing, I suppose. I just can't live in the same room as a Bollywood film. Can't do it.
So anyway.
Even though Shilpa Shetty is, a delightful human being, I just thought I might mention that in case India gets upset with me.
She's not that delightful.
You didn't believe that a whole nation got upset because Richard Gere gave her a little peck on the cheek. That's just, I mean, as the human race, we are flat out silly, aren't we? I mean, aliens from another planet are looking down on us. What comic material we give them. Anyway, back to your story, Sarah.
So anyway, this fake tan.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. Shilpa, didn't she not hire, but didn't she exploit children in India?
No, certainly not. Don't say anything about Shilpa Shetty or we'll get taken off the air.
Oh, well,
she's an untouchable, like the Queen.
I'm not saying it's true. I'm just reading.
Yeah, well, just take it back. Anyway, back to your
paper. Sorry.
Back to the lotion.
Sorry, India. Yeah, I put this lotion on. It isn't a fake tan vibe or anything. It's just a lotion. And
well, what do you mean? It either is a fake tan or it isn't.
Well, it's one of those body lotions. It's a moisturiser with fake tan stuff in.
Well, it is a fake tan then.
All right then, it's a fake tan, and I put some on.
You wouldn't last 10 seconds in the witness box, Sarah.
But I don't know, bad people. So.
Anyway, you got this fake tan lotion.
Yeah, and parts of me have gone orange.
Which?
And I'm really a bit upset.
Knees and elbows?
My legs. Because you know when you put lotion on your legs, the first bit okay, when you put lotion on your legs, the first bit you go for is the front. Right?
Front.
I've got more lotion on the front, and so the front of my legs look bright orange, and my arms have gone orange. And when I first used it, it says that you should wash your hands, afterwards.
Yes.
And I didn't, and now, the palm of my hands aren't white, they're really orange.
So you look like a child's lollipop, basically. You're white and orange.
I look like Jodie Marsh a bit. It's really horrible, and I don't know what to do.
I think it'll come off eventually, won't it?
Will it just, or is it, on there forever?
Yeah, it probably is. You're absolutely right there. Yeah, it's on there forever. So you've got, you, at the front, coming towards us, you're orange, and then going away from us, you're bright white.
I'm just, white as white. It's really horrible, seriously. I'm really upset, because I went to the park, and when the sun was on it, it was just orange and horrible.
Is it a streaky orange, or is it concentrated around your knees and
You
such?
know what? I've actually done quite a good job with it, considering it isn't too streaky. But that's not the point, really.
But it's just the front of your legs are orange and the back's bright white.
It looks like I've been swimming in orange juice,
Right.
or I've been eating too many of them carrots.
Well, I'm sure you look delightful, Sarah, whatever colour you are. I won't judge you by the colour of your skin, all right?
Oh, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sarah.
Bye.
Ta-ta. And when you're finished with the lotion, put the lotion in the basket. Here is Charlton. Hello, Neil.
Hello, Nick. How are you?
I am all right, thanks.
I thought I'd fill your gap in your education.
Yeah, please do.
Stuff. I've got here a collared dove for you.
A what?
A collared dove.
A collared dove?
Yes.
You've got one?
Yeah.
Is that legal?
Yeah. You want to hear it?
Go on, then. Yeah, cuckoo, cuckoo, it's going.
That was a collared dove.
But doesn't that sound like a cuckoo?
No, I've got a cuckoo. I've got a cuckoo as well.
But it's saying cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. It's saying.
It's not. It's going hoo 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 hoo. There's no C on the front of it.
Okay.
I've also got a cuckoo as well.
Go on, then. See, exactly the same. So it sounds like it's having a fight with a smaller Tweety bird.
No, you get that, don't you? Though the difference.
They sounded exactly the same to me, Neil.
It did not. Also, are you aware how friendly bees are this time of year?
How friendly?
They're friendly.
What do you mean?
Especially bumblebees. You know the nice furry bumblebees.
And what's the difference between a bee and a bumblebee?
You know, you get honeybees, the small, longer ones, and then you get the nice furry bumblebees.
They're not nice. They'll bite your head off.
They won't. This time of year, because they're all sleepy, you can handle them, and they're lovely. They're friendly.
Chris, you fancy handling a bee?
I'm all right.
Yeah, yeah.
No, you can. If
No,
you
we'll
haven't
pass.
been brave enough, and you see, sometimes in the summer they're really drunk on pollen, and they're a bit dopey.
Well,
And you can let them crawl
yeah,
across.
I can totally relate to that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really nice. Try it.
Oh well, if I see one, I'll
Then you
post
could
one
be a
to.
bit-
I'll post one to Bear Grylls. Maybe he can do it for me.
Yeah, you could do your own Bear Grylls, can't you? Be a bit brave.
Yeah. Well, not in this lifetime, but thanks for the suggestion, Neil.
Okay, bye-bye.
I'll give it my close consideration and come up with the answer.
No!
No. Not now. Not ever. Never. It's 8:15. Here's Travel with Amanda Redmond.
For the latest on the trains, One Railway Service.
London's LBC 97.3. 0870 90 90 973. Nick Abbott.
Words, more words.
It's about this time of the year where you take a peek at your flesh, and usually you think, I've never seen anything so white in all my life. Have you ever used one of those tanning milk things?
No.
No?
Have you?
I think I did once, yeah, because I was going on holiday, and have you ever seen somebody more white than me? It's like I've been washed in Daz. I'm a bluey white.
Yeah.
And I thought this is just going to be embarrassing, because I don't do suntans. I can't sit in the sun. It's just, it hurts, and it's boring. I just can't do it. And so I thought, you know, if you go somewhere hot, you've got to wear shorts. You can't not. And you just look ridiculous. People start pointing and laughing at you with your bright white British legs. And I thought, I'll have to do something in order to fit in. So I did buy one of those, I put it on once. I thought, this isn't working. I look as though I've been in a food fight. It was just sort of all streaking down me. It's awful. But you do, don't you, around about this time of year think, I'm going to get into shorts eventually. You got shorts on right now, don't you?
Yeah,
do you have comedy white legs?
I don't think so.
Is that a yes?
Let's have a look.
Are they... It's a little bit brown.
Yeah. No.
No, I've been wearing them all week, so...
Right, but you've been inside all week.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Don't you find that it's really bizarre? As soon as the sun comes out, all the people that you see in shorts and T-shirts are instantly brown. How the hell does that happen? It's like everybody but me has got a tan. How? Where did that come from? I don't get it.
I don't know. I think I've got kind of olive skin anyway.
Right.
So I'm naturally kind of tanned all year round.
Right, well, you're the sort of person that I hate. See, me, with my bright orange hair and my bright white skin, I just don't do sun. Can't get in it.
But you don't have, you know, to get a tan, you don't have to just sit in the sun. You could go out and, like, I know, do some gardening, or, I know, go for a walk in the park.
What, outside?
Yeah. You don't like that, do you?
I'm not majorly keen on outside. If I can watch it through my window, super happy about that. Or on my TV, yes, outside on television, that's great. But actually being outside, not so much.
What about one of the actual machines, the tanning machines?
No, I definitely won't do that. I tried them once, and your skin feels as though it doesn't come in your size, as though it's shrunk in the wash. It's just a really uncomfortable feeling. You feel like you've had a facelift over your entire body.
Ugh.
And that's like that kind of dried out, just stretched feeling. I can't live with it.
Well, it's like the equivalent of standing right next to the sun, isn't it? You're getting...
Standing right next to the sun?
Well, because you're getting all those UV rays, aren't you?
Explode. I don't think anybody stood right next to the sun.
Ever?
Yeah, not even Posh Spice. And she's really brown.
Oh, well.
She's like a twiglet with boobs.
Those are your words, not mine.
Hey, you know what the happiest profession of all is?
Yeah, being David Beckham's wife.
Well, not much of a profession, really.
Okay. What, at this time of year?
No, just generally.
Okay.
It's a really odd choice. I mean, you think the city workers with their £1 million bonuses, they'd be quite happy. Apparently not. Miserable. To a man they are.
Oh, it's got to be teachers, isn't it? It's all the holidays they get.
Teachers?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
Well,
Teachers shows up to class and they got just kids screaming and shouting and no.
They start at 9, they finish at 3:30. They've got 12-week holidays.
Yeah, but they don't finish at 3:30, do they? According to teachers who are forever whining about their caseload, they're working flat out in order to make the government look good. Fiddling the targets and all of that. So I mean, their job doesn't finish when the bell goes.
Well.
Plus, you're dealing with kids all day long. That must be a nightmare.
Yeah. How about a tube driver?
Tube driver.
Because they only work 4 hours a day, don't they?
You know, they don't have to
get 52 days a year.
They don't have to deal with customers. They're in their own little, compartment.
Yeah.
And, they get to see things that most of us don't.
Yeah, most of us would rather not, yes. And the reason that your train is delayed, because the driver saw something horrible. Yeah, he's the first to see it. No thanks.
Okay.
Plus, he's in there on his own all the time.
Some people like that.
And he can't read his little book. He's got to keep staring ahead, and he's, with his hand on the lever. And that doesn't sound like, no. I mean, you're right. Some people do like that. Some people would opt to go on a lighthouse, because they just like the solitude. But, no.
Give us a clue.
Okay, it involves meeting a lot of people.
Oh.
Well, it must be sales reps.
But sales reps aren't happy. They're miserable because they've got targets to meet. And have you ever been a sales rep? Have you ever done that sales?
Well, I've worked in a call centre.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare, isn't it?
We had to put our hand up. I couldn't believe it. I went to stand up to go to the toilet, and she came over to me and she said, "Where are you going?" I said, "To the toilet." She said, "No, you're not."
What?
"Go and sit back down, put your hand up." We had to put our hand up to go to the toilet.
Wow.
Never again.
No, never. Me and sales don't mix. Because it doesn't matter whether you're asking people face to face or whether it's on the phone. They don't want to talk to you.
They don't want to, no.
And they'll let you know in no uncertain manner as well. And once you've had a couple of people slam the phone down on you, you don't want to pick that phone up and dial another number. It's just every fibre of your body is telling you not to. But you've got to press ahead because you've got to meet targets. No, that must be a draining experience. And of course, you never reach your goal because it always rolls ahead of you. No matter how well you do, if you have a fantastic month, they'll say, "Oh well, you'll be able to do that again next month." And so you never reach your. There is no final destination. So no, that can't be it either.
So you meet lots of people.
How about a travel agent?
Travel agent? Well, they're having a really bad time at the moment, aren't they, travel agents? They're closing left, right and centre. There's no money in it anymore because everyone's figuring it out for themselves on the worldwide wait. So I think that they're all facing the prospect of unemployment. So no, that's not it either.
But they still get, loads of discount.
Not when they're fired, they don't.
Oh.
Hey, Edwina.
Hiya.
Edwina.
How you doing?
I'm all right, thanks.
Good. You sound very good. I thought you were very busy this week.
Well, I've been very busy today. This is about the... this is into the 7th hour on air today.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you're sounding good.
Well, I'm beginning to flag. I'll need a little cup of tea shortly.
I actually was ringing in to help Chris and Helen out.
Oh, yeah.
Am I allowed?
About what?
Who the happiest profession is.
Now, do you know what the answer is, or are you just guessing?
I think I do. Can I have a go?
Well, are you listening, boys and girl? Boy and girl? Okay.
Okay.
The happiest profession is?
Hairdressers.
Hairdressers is the right answer. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah. And can I ask you something?
Yes.
There are two things I found out this week. It's not a life and death situation, but you know how there's a saying that says you're always learning something new every day, but doesn't really sort of affect your life, but things you find out. But the first thing I found out this week was that, did you know, after death, teeth can turn pink in some people.
Teeth?
Yeah, your teeth.
I did not know that.
No, neither did I. But and if it's very bright pink, it's because someone's met a violent death. But what I don't know, and perhaps someone could help, is did the teeth of people who have died, does everyone's teeth turn pink, or is it just people?
Just people whose teeth were white in the first place, I imagine. I mean, if they're brown, then they just sort of turn a reddy brown.
I mean, I never knew that, and that was quite a surprise.
Yeah.
To find out. And the other thing was...
There's another reason not to die.
Yeah. The other thing was, James Bond.
Yeah.
Did you know who the very, very first person was to play James Bond?
Yeah, he just died, didn't he? His teeth are pink as we speak.
Don't, Mark.
Well, he did. He just died. There was an obituary in the paper with a picture of a youthful fella, which must have been taken decades ago. I can't remember his name. What's his name?
I don't know if it was. Is it Norman someone or Barry someone? I can't remember.
No offence, but I hope it wasn't a Norman someone. How can Norman anyone play James Bond?
Well, is he the American guy?
You know what? I didn't bother to read because I had so much else to read as well. I didn't want to read about someone who's dead already.
Yeah, because I found out that the first James Bond was played in 1954 by an American guy, and they didn't call him James Bond, they called him Jimmy Bond, and he worked for the CIA.
Right, well, they got that completely wrong then, didn't they?
They did, didn't they?
Jimmy?
Jimmy, yeah.
No one has ever called James Bond Jimmy.
Yeah, but, I mean, I was really surprised by that, and played by an American as well.
Well, you're surprised, I'm outraged. Thanks a lot, Edwina.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, it's hairdressers. Did you know that?
No.
Yes, here is I'd like to speak to hairdressers and people who work in hairdressing emporiums, just to see if any of this is true. Crimpers are permanently happy, get it? As Britain's most satisfied workers, research shows. And the cheeriest crimpers are typically under 30, earning between 10 and 15 grand a year, and living in the North East. 10 and 15,000 a year.
See, I would hate that, being a hairdresser, because you're on your feet all day.
Not necessarily, they've got little stools now. Yeah, some of them sit on stools.
I would hate it for another reason. All those tiny little bits of hair getting inside your skin on your hands and in the little...
What?
You know when you cut someone's hair... when you cut someone's hair...
Yeah.
And there's tiny, tiny little pieces of hair flake off onto their hands, they get lodged in their skin.
No.
How do they get lodged in your skin?
You're making that up.
They do. I'm not making that up.
Hair doesn't absorb into your skin.
It doesn't absorb, it gets lodged by... You're working with the hair, you're moving around, you know, you've got hair, little bits of hair.
What, like a splinter?
Like a little tiny splinter or a little fibre.
I've never heard such rubbish in all my life.
Well...
Anyway... Beauty, that's why you don't want to be a hairdresser? Well, you can banish that thought from your mind, because it doesn't happen, obviously. No, only a fool would say such a thing, and I don't mean to be offensive when I say that.
Right.
What, apart from being completely wrong, you mean?
No.
Beauty therapists were the next happiest group of workers. Hairdressers, followed by beauty therapists, are the two happiest workers in the whole wide world. I mean, that's practically the same job, isn't it?
Well, it's dealing with people, and that's...
People. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. If you're thinking of calling, you get straight by Chris and talk to me. I'll be much more pleasant than he will. I like people. He's thinking, people, they're people.
Get your flights.
LBC 97.3. 0870 90 90 973. Nick Abbott.
Would you mind telling me what this is all about?
Hey, Tallulah.
Hello, you.
Hey, you.
Hey, you. I will tell you what it's all about.
What?
What? Why do you not have a clue what now, let me start again.
Start again.
You have a problem to understand why they write about music.
I could never really figure it out. Why? I mean, how difficult is it to actually put music into words? I mean, to actually describe what music is like. I mean, how would you even go about doing that?
Well, it's very simple because it's a matter of emotions, what you feel hearing to it, what it does to you. But most of all, it is for the reader, because a reader who is a fan of whatever kind of music, he wants to take all these things apart because he loves it.
Yeah, but I think people do less and less, though, don't they? Because music publications are on their uppers, aren't they? I think they had a peak. They had a peak of popularity in the late 70s when the two music styles clashed. The old school of Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and
Yowza,
all of that sort of stuff met punk head on, and then all the press were having they were in their heyday there. But now, because you can get any kind of music you like 24 hours a day, mostly free, it's I don't think people really read music press anymore, do they?
Well, it has as everything, it has moved towards, for example, e-magazines. So you have the magazines online.
Right.
And then now it's like all over the place. Instead of 3 or 4 major ones, every idiot can start the magazine online, for example.
Yeah, with absolutely no money at all, isn't it? It's kind of fascinating that all the old media industry and infrastructure has been usurped by some kid in his underwear who's sitting in their bedroom just tapping away. You don't have to have a printing plant in Wapping or a £10 million building with TV stations or anything like that. You just need a camera and a PC, and off you go. It's your own radio station, a TV station, and newspaper and I think that the old media companies are doomed.
They are, and we have it exactly where you get harassed nowadays to please take this free magazine on the way to home in the tube.
Yeah.
Because of all the people giving papers away of you don't have to buy it anymore. So it's not only the music magazines; it changed. We have a big evolution going on.
I wonder what the circulation of the Evening Standard is now, because, I mean, there's so many freebies now. On the few occasions that I actually have to do the rush hour, there's at least 2 in the morning, aren't there? And then there's there's at least 1 at lunch. Like you need another sort of update paper at lunch. Who needs that? And then there's another 2, if not 3, because they've got this new sport thing, on the way home. Where in all that lot has anybody got the time or the inclination to buy the Evening Standard now? Because people only ever bought the Evening Standard so as not to have to look at anybody on the tube going home, didn't they?
Just imagine you're on the way home, you just don't have anything but, you want your peace, and then people start to cry in front of me, please take my magazine. Time changed. We never know what's around the corner next.
No, absolutely right, yeah.
Yes. So, but apart from this, it's as well good for the music people, because they get the paper to read what somebody was writing about them. Like, for example, I had a band called Viva, and now I've got all the old press, which is now very, very useful because a site has just been created, and so I have all this collection of press, which comes very, very handy now. Yeah,
but are they all saying positive things? Because if you read things about yourself and it's not positive, doesn't it wind you up?
No, we had funny enough, we had just good press, and within 19 days, I think we had about 1,400. It goes like magic, and I never realized how popular we were and how well known we were until now that it is just in front of your feet worldwide, knowing what's going on and happening.
Well, you want to advertise my show there? Saturday night, 10 till 1, all right.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, Tallulah.
Okay, what's more?
Ta-ta. Hey, I know we always do this on the air, but can you turn my mic up a bit? Because the callers and the sound effects and the adverts and the news, everything's loud apart from me. I'm peaking at like 4.5, and everything else is peaking at 7. But I can tell that you're all over that. Oh, that's much better. See, now I'm back with sound. Every week, you're right. Every week it's the same. You're shaking your head. Oh, God, he's moaning again. Stop whining, you're saying.
Stop whining.
Hello, Emma.
Hello?
Emma.
Hi.
Hello, Emma.
Yeah, I was going to say about the hair in the fingers thing.
Oh, yeah.
My husband uses tweezers to get them out. He's a barber, so it is true.
How does hair get into your skin?
Little bits of hair from cutting hair. He's a barber and he used the clippers. It gets caught in his, like, lodged into his fingers and sometimes in his belly area.
In his belly?
Yeah, and he's there with the tweezers picking them out.
How does it get in his belly?
Yeah, I'll speak to him.
All right.
Hello?
Hello, is this true? You're on the air, by the way, you know that, right?
Yeah, it is true, yeah.
So how does
It's not my hair, I know, it's not my hair, it's someone else's hair.
Yeah, you're a barber.
Yeah, I am, yeah. And especially the thick hair, you know?
And it actually works its way into your skin?
Yeah, he goes in the skin, yeah.
Like a splinter?
And yeah, and I have to pull it with the tweezers. Sometimes I forget I put it, and then, you know, you feel it. You feel it, there is something there, you know, it's annoying, so I have to really look and get the tweezers and pull it out.
And does that happen a lot then?
Yeah.
And how come it gets in? How come it gets in your belly?
Pardon?
How come it gets in your belly?
Yeah, it gets into my belly because, you know, when you cut in hair, you're really busy. So all in your clothes, you know, hair, you know, with the hair dryer and stuff. So at the end of the day, before I take a shower, I look and keep picking them up and then putting them up, and that's it, yeah.
Huh. And despite that, which sounds like a nightmare, are you happy at work?
Yeah, I am, yeah, of course.
Because, you know...
That's my job.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, you know that this survey has recently come out that says hairdressers are the happiest people in the country.
Is it? I am happy, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I am happy. I used to do a kitchen before, you know, I used to be a chef. It's, you know, it's stressful, really stressful. It's a nightmare.
Well, a chef is a very high-pressure, stressful job, yeah. And so is a teacher, and I imagine hairdressing is a bit more,
relaxed.
Yeah.
A bit more relaxed. You know, you meet different people and...
Do you ever feel that you have to keep up the conversation with them, and that... because it's cutting people's hair in silence. Is something a bit uncomfortable about that?
You have to get you know, a subject to talk about. I don't know, even if it's about football or something, you know.
But don't you find that you're saying the same thing over and over and over again all day long?
Yeah.
Well, where are you going on holiday? And but even despite that,
of course, you talk about everything. Of course, when you're going to on holiday, last time, and you know, you talk about everything.
Right.
Especially holidays. We need the holidays here a lot.
Yeah.
We need a lot of holidays, a lot of break.
All right. Well, thanks for that insight. Cheers, mate.
No problem. Cheers.
Ta-ta. Despite all that, he's Happy-Y.
Happiness, the greatest gift that I possess.
Here is Elephant and Castle. Hello, Derek.
Hello, Nick.
Derek.
Yeah, it's true. My brother is a barber, and every day when he's finished, he gets hair in his hands and stuff like that.
Well, you know that nice lady was saying earlier on that you learn something new every day. I can't remember the last time I learned something new. I mean, I'm probably faced with new things every day. I just don't learn them, that's all. I'm not really paying attention. They just go through one ear, past my slack jaw, and out through the other. But this is information I will retain.
Well, I don't know about picking it out with a pick, but he does take it out of his hand. He usually washes his hands. That's how he gets it out usually.
Huh. I don't really understand how that's possible, though. How something as light as a hair can work its way into your skin.
Well, it does. It sort of lodges itself in, and it just, you know, it just stays there, I guess. I usually see different color hair. sometimes long ones, curly ones.
Oh, not curly ones.
Yes.
I found a curly hair in my food at a restaurant a little while ago.
Yeah, but if you wash your hands properly, it should just, come out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the tip, Derek. You're a hairdresser too, right?
No. He started learning on my head.
And is he happy?
Oh, he is. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, he is.
Okay. Well, we'll find an unhappy hairdresser if it kills us. All right. Thanks a lot, mate.
Okay. No
Cheers.
problem.
Ta-da. Yeah. So here are the happiest professions, right? Crimpers, followed by beauty therapists. Have you been to the beauty therapist?
I'm not happy.
Well, we're not talking about you.
All your levels are too high.
Which levels?
Right, the phone.
Yeah.
All the people on the phone.
Yeah.
Are peaking constantly in the red.
Well, they're picking about sort of 5.5, 6.
Oh, and more. On the digital.
Well, what I've found is that the PFL, if we're going to talk about this on the air, the pre-fade listen level, the peak meters in here, don't bear any relation to the ones that you've got in there. What's the point of having them in here? What are they actually monitoring?
It's a good point, Nick. Most people don't use them in there. They use this here.
How can I use that?
Well,
it's pointing at you.
I know you can't see that, and your clips are too high as well. They're constantly playing in the red.
Right. Well, I put the clips high because they have to punch through. If they're below everything else, then it's not funny.
I thought we were talking about hair and skin.
Yeah, we were.
Oh.
And then Helen told us that she wasn't happy.
Stop whining.
How did that peak?
It's too loud. So my level here for you is perfect.
What now?
Well, before you asked me to raise your mic.
Right. But I was peaking lower than everything.
Yes, because you're too high, so the phone calls are almost starting to sound distorted.
All right, well, back off on the phone calls, but...
and can you back a little bit, rein in on the clips as well?
All right, I'll try.
Right, thank you.
And, but I'm going for this, I'm going by what this meter in front of me tells me. So really, this meter, I might as well not look at it, because it's...
But that's just been fixed.
But how can I determine how loud everything is if the meter's broken?
If you can't hear them, nobody else can. If it sounds too loud, it's too loud.
Well, it didn't sound loud to me.
That's what I learned in radio technology school.
Right. What a waste of time that was, eh? You ever thinking of putting that to use? You want to eat something a little quieter there?
Sorry, Chris.
And your level is a little bit...
Yeah, way too loud.
All right, it's fine.
Helen's very upset now. Are we going to be all right? Are we okay?
Yeah.
You and I?
Oh, everything's fine.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So, are you happy?
If you play that song and your level's correct.
Well, let's see, shall we? Oh, no, I won't bother. It's Travel Now with Amanda Redmond.
On the M25, an incident closing the...
London's LBC 97.3. 0870 90 90 973. Nick Abbott.
Are you trying to tell me that this is your act?
How's that level?
Fantastic.
You could barely hear it. There's no punch there. But if you're happy...
Fabulous.
I'm happy too.
That's lovely. Thank you very much.
Here is West Drayton. Hello, Alec.
Good evening. The level's good for me.
Great.
Yeah, I'm just ringing about the hair in the skin. I used to be a hairdresser many years ago.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it does happen. What happens, the shells of hair get lodged in the pores of the skin. And women used to suffer from it as well, especially this time of year in this sort of weather, wearing low-cut tops. They used to get it stuck in between their breasts.
That sounds awful.
Well, it could be. Well, it could be. If you don't remove it, it can cause infection.
Yeah.
Amusing enough, it's a similar condition to an ingrowing hair. And amusing enough, in the forces in the Second World War, the medics had a name for it. They called it Jeep's bum, because driving on the hard seats, the troops quite often used to get ingrowing hair.
I think we've heard enough.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thanks a lot, Alex, but I think we have a vivid mental image of that. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, bye-bye.
Ta-da. Yeah, the happiest, am I peaking all right?
It's lovely.
The happiest workers are, apparently, hairdressers, followed by beauty therapists. A survey of 1,000 adults by the City and Guilds, the Education and Training Organisation, found the unhappiest workers were, guess what? Now, if hairdressers and beauty therapists are working with people all day long, you'd hate it, Chris.
I would.
Awful people are.
Yeah, I don't like them.
If they're happy, the suggestion is they're happy because they're always meeting new people, and it's not the money that's the thing, because they earn barely anything at all. I mean, below the national average, between 10 and 15,000. The happiest people in the whole wide country earn between 10 and 15 grand. They're under 30, and they live in the northeast. That sounds hard to believe, doesn't it?
But if they're
particularly the living in the northeast part.
But if they're in the beauty and the hairdressing business, they'd probably get a new haircut once a week or something like, or latest beauty treatments, and so they're always feeling good about themselves because they're always looking good.
Right.
Maybe that's it. I don't know.
And maybe
they'll
get tips as well, which of course they won't declare to the tax man. But the unhappiest people are
bin men.
No, they work as a team.
Yeah, no, I bet they're relatively happy. I mean, they work in smell, of course, but they're done for the day quite early on, like milkmen. Do milkmen still exist?
Crane drivers.
Crane drivers. Yeah, I've been thinking about that because much like tube train drivers, there's an element of fear there. But of course, you get a nice view. But I'm sure that's the last thing you're really interested in when you're up there, because it's the same view every day, right? But you get to stop work if it starts to get windy or there's a storm coming your way. So I bet they pray for it.
I'm sure they don't. They don't have to stop work.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
No, they probably have to go down, climb down the crane, and go and help someone else with their work.
Ah, you're probably right there. Yeah.
Although
aren't those jobs very delineated? I'm a crane driver, I am, so I don't do shifting about.
Oh, maybe.
Heavy lifting. Mind you, with the Polish workers that are coming in, they'll do crane driving and heavy lifting and plumbing and electric. If the electrician doesn't show up that day, they'll do that too.
Multi-skilled.
So you have to be multi-skilled to keep your jobs these days, that's right. No, the unhappiest people in the whole wide world, HR managers, human resources managers.
Really?
Yeah.
What's dealing with people?
Well, not really. It's telling people not to do things, isn't it? What do HR people do?
Yeah, they're that. They tell people off.
Not to do things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the government has insisted that you can't have hot coffee and
yeah,
all that stuff. And they hire and fire. Do they hire and fire? Is that what human resources department? I don't really know what they do. What do they do?
They deal with hiring and firings. They observe them, don't they?
Yeah, they deal with contracts and health and safety at work and...
Right, so they're like lawyers.
It's like all the boring stuff.
Yeah.
But when you're in trouble at work, you have to go and see HR.
The HR, right. So it's kind of like at school when you're in trouble, you have to go and see... well, in a posh school, you'd have to go and see matron. I guess they're the version of matron.
Yeah.
She would instill some discipline.
But does it say why they're unhappy?
No, it doesn't. I think it's just for all the reasons that we've just mentioned, because often, these edicts will come down from the government that you have to, you can't use a sharp pencil in case you accidentally stab yourself in the ear. And so all sharp pencils must have cones around them with flashing lights, and you must wear a high visibility jacket when you're using a pencil. And they know it's rubbish, but they've got to write it out and tell everybody not to use it. And everybody will look at it and go, "Oh God, what rot!" And they have to back it up with force if necessary. So that's why HR people are probably unhappy, according to this survey, is because they know that a lot of what they're doing is silly nonsense.
Baloney.
Silly nonsense dictated by the government, yes. By you-know-who. The nose-picking, nail-biting mouth-breather.
Oh, yeah. Him.
Yeah, him, that's right. The other least happy people in the country, lawyers, who earn between £45,000 and £49,000 a year.
Really?
Pay more than that.
Well, it specifically says that's the pay range.
45 to 49?
Yeah, 49, and live in Yorkshire or Humberside, and they're aged between 30 and 39, yeah. Lawyers in Yorkshire, who are on about 45 grand a year, the most unhappy people in the country, apparently, according to this survey.
Well, that's just to do with where they live.
Yorkshire's a lovely place. How
Is
can you
it?
say that?
I've never been.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Okay, I've never been further than Liverpool.
Well, Liverpool's... I was going to say what I actually felt, actually, but I've never been to Liverpool, so I don't really know. It's a super place, and it's isn't it the
The home of the Beatles.
the city of culture?
2008.
What?
It's my hometown. I know a lot about it.
2008? So it hasn't actually reached its peak of culture yet?
No, it's in 2008.
Right.
Yeah.
The top woman's resigned. They can't get anyone to do the job. Oh, it's going to be great.
What, the culture festival
Yeah.
woman has resigned?
Oh, yeah, she's
Well,
gone.
she went out looking for the culture with a pair of binoculars, couldn't find any anywhere.
Yeah, gone.
Huh. So it might not be the European Centre for Cultural Excellence, which
No,
would be
they-
a surprise to all of us.
And they're doing the big dig.
What's that?
What's that then?
Digging up the whole of the inner part of Liverpool city centre. It's called the Big Dig.
Well...
What, in order to make it look more lovely?
Yeah. Or to sound more lovely, yeah.
They're looking for culture, that's what they're looking for. Digging for
Well,
culture.
they're doing all the roads, but they're calling it the Big Dig.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, that's for all the people at the DAB regions of Liverpool.
Right, they're digging enough holes to fill the Albert Hall, I bet.
Tired of being awake right now? Unable to drift back? LBC 97.3 0870 90 90 973. Nick Abbott.
Right, so what are we doing?
We're doing Barnsley. Hi, Louise.
Hi, Nick.
How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Great, mate.
Good. You were talking about sales earlier on. You opened up a healing wound for me because the radio station down the road got a licensed RSL thing.
They got a
And
what?
They got an RSL, a license that let them broadcast like a month. Anyway, they put me in charge of like getting advertisers and stuff, and it's so destroying. And you know, as soon as you said I'm from, they're gonna go, nope, I don't
Yeah.
think so.
So you were the sales force for a new radio station that was down your way.
Sort of.
A community radio station,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
You had to call up shops and ask them if they wanted to advertise on your station.
yeah,
And most of them said...
No!
No.
no. And I didn't last very long, thankfully.
That's no way to get into radio, by the way. I know you want to get into radio, but being in sales is no way to get on the air.
They gave me a show to do, which is good. I did one once a week, so that was good. And I still read music magazines.
Yeah, but you read silly music magazines that are about dance music.
Yeah.
What are you going to write about dance music? Oh, it's like banging, slamming, crashing action.
No.
Then
it-
what?
No, it is hard to put. Oh, I've got a review here, actually, and it's really good.
Go on.
Well versed in the art of switching between musical beauty and the beast, this time a Scottish duo take a walk on the dark side, but even then they can't quite help wedging a piano part.
Communication, your strong point.
Boring!
But it's still boring.
It's not. I think it's good to say, oh, it sounds like whatever, because then you know, it sounds like whatever song, you know, because then you have an idea of what it's going to sound like.
Well, that's just such a. It sounds like something else. That's no basis for publishing a magazine about a genre of music. That's just silly, Louise.
Well, it's not just reviews as well. It's got news about like dance music and.
Oh, news, right? It's still fast and loud, is it? This month's beats per minute are a fashionable 121. Ooh. All that 120 stuff, that's right out. That is so yesterday. All right, thanks, Louise. Best of luck. All right.
Okay.
Ta-ta. And whatever you're selling, I don't want it. I've given this week. This is LBC. Ian Lee is, well, we don't really know. We have our suspicions, but we better not tell you what they are. I'm Nick Abbott, back after the news.
London's LBC 97.3 0870 90 90 973. Nick Abbott.
I want to show you something.
I ever done a marathon, he asked me off the air.
Yeah.
No. Nor would I ever.
It's only because it was in the news just then. Just reminded me about it.
I think you'd have to be off your chump to do a marathon. It's got to be very bad for you, doesn't it? I mean, pounding for 26 miles. I mean, you'd be dead at the end of it.
Yeah,
You'd screw your knees up, and your knees are connected to your
thigh
bone, which are connected to your hip bone, and your hips are going to be all out of whack, and then...
You have a big poo halfway round.
Oh, for goodness sake, Helen, please.
It's true.
You do not.
Nick, you do, because your stomach and all the other things are being pounded for 4 hours. That's if you're quick. 6 if you're a bit slow. Being pounded. So there's nothing left in your stomach, in your...
But... Where are you going to do that?
Yeah.
On the floor?
No,
Oh, shut up.
Do not.
Do you want to get that? Seriously? Are you aware that we're on the air now?
Yeah.
On the floor?
Well, I don't know, or you go to the toilet.
Well, they don't. They just...
They
do
keep
marathon.
running.
It's only
Yeah.
2 hours. Like, you can do it in, like, 3 hours, can't
Well,
you?
if
3
you're
or 4.
very
If
good.
you take a cab, you can.
Oh, like 4 or 5 then. But you can hold it in for 4 or 5 hours.
Where on earth did you get that information? You mad woman.
That wasn't on the news.
Yeah, I'll say. I've never heard the like in my life. Where did you get that information?
I heard it recently from somewhere because everyone seems to be talking about the marathon.
Yeah. Are they?
Well, yeah.
Is
Well, a
anybody
few
doing
people.
it? Is anyone doing it in this building?
Yes.
The marathon, I mean, not that thing that you just said.
Yeah, a couple of people from the newsroom.
From the newsroom?
Yeah.
Are they svelte?
Yeah.
It's amazing. The fattest people will run the marathon, and I feel like I should sort of maybe join in one time, but I absolutely will not do it. Not now, not ever, never.
I went down to watch it once.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
Did you manage to keep it in?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even watch it. I mean, that just seems boring, doesn't it? People are struggling by pain of death etched upon their faces.
Oh, it was a few years ago when, I first moved into London, and I thought, might as well go and see the marathon. That seems to be what people do. And now I can see why they don't.
I mean, urging them on to their certain demise, it just seems almost cruel, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Stop now, mate. You look like you're dying.
Well, your body's not built to
No,
run
it
for 26 miles.
definitely isn't. No, I mean, that's why that thing called the wall, you don't want to run through it. That's your body telling you to stop. Yeah. Don't do the marathon, you crazy people.
Yeah. And people die.
Well, they do. They certainly do, yeah. And have you ever seen a runner that look like they're enjoying themselves? I mean, even just jogging around the park, they all look like in pain, don't they?
Yeah.
Running, it's just not something that you want to do to your body. It isn't.
Jogging is yeah. No?
Even jogging, you're pounding, it's going through your ankles, and your ankles are connected to your...
legs.
Well, your knees are taking it, aren't they?
Yeah, your ankles, knees, and hips.
And your spine.
Exactly.
It's all getting jarred, isn't it?
As is your brain. I mean, your brain isn't fixed inside your skull.
It's shaking about.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it turned into like a milkshake in there.
Wonder how many brain cells you lose over
6.
26 miles.
6.
Who?
6.
Oh.
Russell Square. Hello, Ben.
Hi, Nick.
Ben.
I'm going to say I prefer Liverpool to Manchester.
Well, yeah, Manchester, naturally.
I think I prefer Leeds to Manchester as well, actually.
Well, Leeds isn't bad. The thing that Leeds has is outside Leeds. There's
Yeah,
no
also
end of lovely outside Leeds.
Yeah, I think Leeds is a lot more open. It's not as all crammed in as much, Although there is everything within walking distance.
Yeah.
And have you heard about what's happened to Bradford?
What has happened to Bradford?
Well, my friends from Bradford, they all tell me this is true, so I'm guessing it is. Well, they've had this massive regeneration, or whatever it's called,
Have they?
They're putting loads and loads and loads of money into it, millions and millions of pounds. It's been advertised everywhere.
In Bradford?
Yeah, but they've pulled down all the buildings that they were going to replace with, and then decided that they've run out of money.
Oh, right.
Now there's just nothing there.
Well, that's nice.
spent all the money bringing it down.
So right now it looks like a giant modern art masterpiece. Something that the Tate would give money hand over fist for.
It's just, there's just nothing there now.
Rubble, for as far as the eye can see. Really?
Lots of scaffolding. Yeah, apparently everything's covered in scaffolding.
Well, that's a good sign. That means that things are coming up, doesn't it?
But it's not the decent... scaffolding, when you get in London, they usually, cover it up, don't they, with, what the building's going to be like. Or
Yeah, they do, yeah.
In Britain, not up north, it's just metal poles everywhere. Have you heard about, this live Earth thing? I haven't got a TV, so I don't, I can't...
Haven't got a TV?
What?
I'm a student.
Right.
So,
you mean you haven't paid your TV licence, so nod and a wink, yes, you haven't got a TV, right.
No, I can't get reception. I'm on, it's a terrible place for reception.
Okay.
But this live Earth thing, I don't know if it's me, but was it advertised at all anywhere? Because it says all these, because they went on sale, the tickets for about 2 days, and I was kind of wanting to get tickets because my friend from Brazil's coming over, and I thought, it'd be quite good to get tickets for that, but...
I think that anything that people have heard of these days sells out like that within a couple of seconds of the lines opening. I mean, Bon Jovi have announced that they're going to open the O2 Centre, which was the Dome. And before the tickets actually went on sale, they were sold out, because I think O2 people could call in first, and they're all gone.
I bet it'll be quite a good venue, that, actually.
Really?
Got a bit of a gimmick to it. The Dome.
Yeah, getting there is going to be interesting, because they have that comedy railway, don't they, that has capacity of about...
no driver.
Capacity of about 2 people. Yeah, well, they haven't got the driver, because they couldn't fit any passengers in if they had one.
Yeah, it gets really fast, actually. It's quite scary, I quite like Canary Wharf, that area. It's quite nice, but...
Yeah, but that's not Canary Wharf. That's like, it's out there in, it's kind of like no man's land, really.
And some really strange named places like Mudchute and Canada Water and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah, a bit unusual when you go around there. But I quite like it. Where's that? Greenwich, I like it around there. It reminds me a bit of York.
Yes, I suppose so. If you squint.
Yeah, and hold your nose.
Well, I was going to say that, but I thought, no, best not. But you did it for me. All right. Thanks a lot, Ben.
All right, see you, Nick.
Cheers, mate. Ta-da. Who do you think is the happiest nation in Europe?
France.
The Germans.
No. Who do you think's the happiest nation in Europe, Joan?
Could it be Bulgaria?
It isn't.
Oh, there you go. That was wrong. Well, that's got that out of the way, hasn't it? Which one is it?
Well, I'll come to that in a minute.
Oh, you're not going to tell me then. You're a tease, aren't you?
I so am.
Well, I was going to tell you a very interesting story.
I seriously doubt that.
I bet you think it's interesting.
Go on.
All right, well, on Nick's show this morning, there was that blooming man, Ken Livingstone. And a man phoned in and he said, hey, about that zone business, he said, I went into it the other day by utter mistake. And he said, within 2 minutes, I was out of it again, very, very fast. And he said, but I still got an £8 fine, or charge. And so he said, how come that happens? And Ken Livingstone said, well, we have no means of clocking you out of the zone. We can clock you in, but we don't clock you out. So the fact that you're only in there 2 minutes is irrelevant, because you were clocked going in. And he said, oh, that sounds a bit much. He said, well, you can't be clocked going out of the zone.
I don't believe that.
That's what he said. He said it twice. Now, how come my son gets charged for going in at 11 o'clock at night, working over the night, and coming out at 8 o'clock in the morning? But he said it twice. He said you can't be clocked for coming out of the zone.
Well, you can be clocked while you're inside the zone, can't you? Because they've got cameras all over the place that will just, I don't know quite why, but once you're in, you're in,
that man should have, the clock should have known that he was only in there 2 minutes. But Ken Livingstone said that, no, you can't do that. He said there's no way of doing it.
Well, you get charged for entering the zone, don't you? It doesn't matter. You're not charged...
But you aren't charged for entering the zone at 11 o'clock at night.
Well, no, that's right.
That's right.
But he wasn't charged for entering the zone at 11 o'clock at night.
No, but my son is. What I mean is, he's charged every night he works. But he goes in at 11 when there's no congestion.
Yeah.
And he comes out at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Right. Well, more for him then.
Yeah. So if that is true, if Ken Livingstone says you can't be charged for coming out of the zone...
Yeah.
Then how come he's being charged?
Joan, I've got no idea. He's probably getting picked up by one of the cameras that are in the zone that are tracking us all the time. You know, of all the CCTV cameras, in the world,
Yeah.
in this country, we've got about 50% of them. Isn't that incredible? I mean, I made that figure up, but it's approximately that. It's something like we've got half of the CCTV cameras that exist in the world
And
in this country.
the crime. Oh my goodness.
No, but it's given the news organisations a lot of exciting footage to play every time they do a story about violence on our streets.
Them out, aren't they? I bet they're going right through them all to see what's the most
Yeah, sure they are.
salivating.
Yes.
Anyway, who's the happiest country in the world?
Well, I'll get to that in a moment. What do you say? Bulgaria.
Well, I was just thinking, you know, maybe they haven't really been in the EU very long, so it's possible they're still happy, you know.
Well, they're not even on the list, so perhaps, according to this list, they don't even... maybe it's a figment of our imagination, Joan.
Okay.
All right, thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Ta-ta. Yes, this is LBC. Ian is doing a corporate function, or has gone to enjoy a corporate function. Probably the former, I would think.
Yeah.
Big money.
Wink, wink.
Well, but you said it, though, not me. Just in case he asks. In case he gets a rocket when he gets back. Wasn't me that said it. It was Chris. You're a very bad Chris. This is LBC. Oh, travel with Amanda Redmond.
Well, on the M25, we've got some good news here. The
BC 97.3 0870 9090 973. Nick Abbott.
Correct. So, you're chivying me along. There's an old expression, I think, from World War II. Yes.
Because you've hit the wall.
Yeah, I've hit my own personal wall. So I've been on the air so far today 86 hours. Can you believe that?
Nick, I've got a list of things I want to talk to you about here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How
do
many?
you want to do Europe, or...?
Shall I do this one first?
Yeah, and then can I throw in Val Dunican?
Oh.
That was Chris going, oh, not me. Val Dunican, you say?
Yes.
Oh, well, that is interesting.
Boring.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about Val in a little bit. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, you must be Danish.
Really?
Oh.
Yes. The country which invented Lego. I didn't know that.
Oh, that's quite good.
I love Lego.
The country which invented Lego and was the first to legalise same-sex marriages has come on top of a European League table of happiness, and you can't say happiness without saying penis.
No, you can't.
While Britain ranks 9th.
Isn't it cold in...
Denmark.
Yeah, that's the one. In Danish.
People in Scotland, Wales and most parts of England are less happy than they were 4 years ago, and you know whose fault that is?
Whose?
A decline attributed to the flagging trust in the government and other institutions. So it's his fault. But the most miserable Europeans are the Italians and the Portuguese. That's really bizarre. Because I would have thought that the Italians and the Portuguese would have been way up the happiness league. And you know why? Religion. That's why. People who give themselves to religion report that they are more happy, whether they feel that they should do because God is watching them, and so that they can't say that they're unhappy because they've given their life to God, because God would, you know, be very upset with them and smite them, or whatever it is he does, he, she, or it.
I just thought they'd be happier because of the sunshine.
Well, that too, yes, but I think surveys suggest that if you are very religious, then you are happier because a lot of the decisions that you make in your life are made for you. So it's kind of like being, you know, cared for by my mummy or nanny or whatever it was that that cared for you when you were growing up. So you don't have to make all those big life decisions because it's all been mapped out for you. You pretty much are told what to do and when, you know, how you can do it. And particular, you know, certain religions, if you do bad, then you can always say, you know, sorry about that. Sorry about that.
I am very sorry that I screwed up. Totally I mean, I am so sorry. You just don't know how sorry I am. I'm sorry.
And the religion involved will say, that's all right, mate. Just keep saying sorry and you'll be okay. So religion does actually make people happier, believing, apparently. So, which is surprising that the Italians and the Portuguese are way down the list because they're so very religious, particularly the further south you go.
But they got good food.
So everybody keeps saying, but I went to Italy for about 3 weeks and I just ate the same meal every day.
Pizza?
No, not pizza. It was antipasti to start, followed by grilled fish, followed by the world's best coffee. Doesn't matter where you get it. It's always fantastic coffee. But after a while, you get a bit bored of that, and you want something. You want like maybe a Thai meal or an Indian or something like that. But there ain't none. Only Italian. That's all they serve in Italy. Only
Really?
Italian food. Yeah.
It's probably because you were in the touristy bits.
No, it wasn't. Here, it's a whole big, melting pot. Big enough to take the world and all it's got.
Yeah.
It's been boiling for 1,000 years or more. Everybody.
I don't know.
Just you, Nick.
No, you get all kinds of food here, and you're kind of used to that, and you go abroad to somewhere like Italy, for instance, where they say that the food is double extra fantastic, and all you can get is Italian food. And after a while, it just gets a bit boring. And you can spend... I bought the most expensive meal I've ever bought in my life in Milan, and some of the cheapest meals, here, there, and everywhere. And the difference between the two is almost non-existent. It's the same food. Just depends on, how nice your napkin is, basically. Anyway, the study, they asked 20,000 people, so it wasn't just some... some sort of put-together job. They aren't making this stuff up. In 180 regions, they're asked to rate their happiness and life satisfaction out of 10. What would you say yours was?
8 or 9.
Well, you're not saying it like it's an 8 or 9. You're saying it like it's a 2 or a 3.
It's just my voice. it's just the way it is.
Right. Helen?
Oh, about a 2.
A 2, yeah.
What about you?
About 2, yeah.
Really?
Well, 1 or a 2, yeah. Miserable all the time.
Stop whining.
I
Even on a
can't.
Saturday.
Well, Saturday particularly.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday's my big day.
Saturday's the best day.
I hate Saturdays.
Why?
Oh, you do the washing, don't you? Try and get to an art gallery and you never do.
No.
Try and go out and see a friend, you never make it. Go shopping in Morrison's.
But you don't
Stamford Hill.
You don't have to work on Saturdays.
Oh, it's grim.
Why did you say no like that when she said go to an art gallery? As though that was the stupidest thing anyone's ever said.
I'm still trying to get to see the Hogarth.
Because art's not for everyone.
Me too.
It's the last few days.
Is it?
Finishes on the 29th.
Oh, Struth, that always happens.
I've missed it. I missed the Hopper.
I just don't get
What's
art.
about that?
The Hopper? Well, that was ages ago.
I know, I'm still getting over that.
Did you see the Dan Flavin?
No.
Oh, good grief.
Groovy.
That was
was that the light?
fantastic.
Not the lights.
Yeah,
Is
he's
it
the
light?
he's the groovy dude that that leans neon tubes.
Somerset's House.
No, that was at the Hayward. He leans neon tubes against the wall and then charges you £1 million for it. And basically, he rips the lighting out of office buildings and leans it against the wall. That'd be £1 million, please. Genius. But they're lovely to look at. I went twice.
That's why I don't like art.
Why?
Because things like that, it's a cop-out, It's lazy art, that is.
No,
anyone could do that.
It was, anyone can do it, but no one did. He did.
Yowza.
It was groovy, baby.
I went to, what's the Tate Modern?
Gilbert and George?
No, recently, and, there's one little piece of art in there.
The way you dismissed Gilbert, the way you dismissed Gilbert and George, by the way, some people would say that they're our greatest living artists, as long as you don't like David Hockney, Gilbert and George, and you just flick them away without a care.
Well, this is because at the Tate Modern, it's just this plain wall and a banister.
Tate Modern or Britain?
The Modern, Tate Modern.
Okay.
There's just a banister attached to this wall. And that was it.
Well, that was just a banister. That wasn't an piece of art. That was just a banister.
But it had a plaque next to it, which meant it was art. But that's not...
Well, what did the plaque say?
It was like telling you what it meant, that banister meant.
What did it mean?
I don't know, I didn't too much notice. But it was just like, anyone could do that. It's just lazy. I could go and stick a banister on the wall and say, look at my piece of art.
But you didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't put a cow in formaldehyde in a big cabinet, did you?
There's my pen on the desk.
It's been done.
It does look fantastic, though. Do you mind if I say that?
Yeah.
I'll give you 50,000 quid for it.
Oh, actually.
Here is Chiswick. Hello, John.
Oh, good evening, Nick.
John.
How are you?
I'm all right, thanks.
I was wondering, did Carol phone you up?
Gibbon, is she likely to call this show?
No.
No.
Yes, she said she was going to.
Oh, yeah, sure she does, yeah.
No, what happened was on the on her Sunday morning show, she said she was listening. She was listening to you in the evening, and she fell asleep.
Oh, that's nice.
And she woke up and heard your near-death experience thing.
Yeah.
And thought she didn't know whether she dreamed or not.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I phoned up and said, no, it's true. So she said, well, I'll have to phone him and...
Oh, right, yeah.
See what happens. She's
Yeah.
quite concerned.
No, I think that...
Booze.
...will get in the way. She's concerned.
Yeah, she's... Well,
Yeah,
funny
sure
enough,
she
I've never heard that one. I've heard your eyeball one any number of times, but I've never really heard the full
The full gory details of my near-death experience.
No. You going to give it to us sometime?
Well, I mentioned some of it on Saturday night. So if you have an iPod or an MP3 related
I
device,
heard you was in hospital, but I've never heard what led up to it.
I had tubes coming out of me. I
That's
was
right, but why?
connected to a lot of expensive machinery that went beep like that.
Yeah,
and,
I heard that, but why did you have, what preceded that?
Previous to actually having it, I thought that those, you see on TV, people have got that tube that goes up their nose.
Yeah.
I thought it actually went up and up their nose and into, like, down their throat and into their, either stomach for feeding them or, into their, lungs. I actually thought it went up and down your nose. Up your nose and down your throat. But it doesn't, it ends, like about a centimetre or so up your nose, and it just wafts, nice smells up your nose.
Oh, right.
Oxygen is what it wafts.
Oh, right.
So it was almost worth it, just to find out that little tidbit of information.
Funny enough, who else was in the ward? Well, you wouldn't have known them, but...
Well, there was everybody else in the ward was about 100 years old.
Well, that's what I was coming to. I went to visit someone in the intensive care ward, and obviously you're really pleased that they're doing everything they can for the person you're visiting.
Yeah.
You sort of thought, well, everybody else here, if you switched off the machines, they'd be instantly dead. And it's not like they're all sort of glamorous people like wounded soldiers and...
No, everyone was about 1,000 years old. People who were waving their arms in the air, and there was one comical lady over me. I mean, she's probably dead now, so it's not very funny. But she was she was always asking for something, and she would call the nurse lady. Oh, lady, I want some orange juice. Oh, quicker, lady. Quicker, lady! And they would just ignore her, because she was like this all the time. Every 10 seconds, she'd be asking for something else. And because she didn't get it instantly, and her voice would go up in an ever-rising crescendo. And she'd be insisting that they'd do whatever it was she just asked. Quicker, lady! And so I had this chorus 24 hours a day while I was in there trying to get the machine that went beep to slow down a bit. Anyway, I went through all of this on Saturday night, so if you've got the podcast service, and if you don't, then I thoroughly recommend that you get it.
I heard the
lbc.co.uk, John. Go to the...
I've got it, but no,
right.
I haven't heard why you went in. I've heard about you being in there.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, I'll save that for my super show on Saturday night. All right, there's another reason to listen. This is LBC.
LBC 97.3 0870 90 90 973. Nick Abbott.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm super. Thanks for asking. So anyway, the Denmark and Finland, bizarrely, are the happiest places in Europe, which you wouldn't really think. I mean, of all the places in all the world, you probably wouldn't have picked those, right? You'd have picked maybe France and Spain and... Not us, because we know us too well. We're a bunch of miserable people who just wander around whining all the time.
Stop whining!
I don't know even where Denmark is.
Why would you say that on the air? I mean, why would you dig a grave for yourself on the air and say stuff like that? I mean, in class, at school, you would say things like that, because if you don't know, just put your hand up and ask. But now, as a grown-up, or, as a facsimile of a grown-up, you're not supposed to say stuff like that. You're supposed to quietly go and look it up.
Really?
You fool.
Oh, I'm just being honest.
Denmark, picture Spain.
Yeah.
You know that sliver of a country that's on the left-hand side of Spain?
Portugal.
Yeah, that's not it. Yeah, that's correct. Portugal. Denmark, it's up there. There's, if you look at the map, it looks like there's a giant lake, the name of which I don't really know, and it looks like a soldier holding a rifle. That's where that is. Anyway, all the places where people are 6 foot tall and blonde and stunningly good looking, that's where people are happiest. No big surprise there then. Denmark, Finland and Sweden. The top happiest places in Europe. Well, you're nodding your head sagely, thinking, yep, that sounds right. No, it doesn't. It's freezing cold. They can't get a drink for 200 miles in any direction because the government's banned it. They have to get on a boat to get a drink, don't they? Isn't that the case in Finland? Aren't they? Haven't got some sort of nut law about alcohol. They're crazier than we are. Isn't that true about Finland? I think all alcohol outlets are government controlled, and in order to make the Finnish people drink less, they've spaced them 200 miles apart, which just means that the Finnish go and stock up in lorries and go home and then just get so fantastically drunk that they can barely stand. I might be completely wrong about this, but it's one of those countries. I'm sure Finland is it. And of course, the result that they've, which is the same with everything that people try to prohibit, is that that they take ever more amounts of it. I bet the Finnish drink more alcohol per head of population than anyone on the planet.
Not us, though.
Huh?
We drink the most, probably, don't we?
Well, we come out the worst for everything, don't we?
We're good at everything.
I thought we were a nation of binge drinkers.
We're a nation of binge drinkers. We take more drugs than any place that's ever been invented. How is the war on drugs going, by the way?
Fabulous.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, we're more pregnant earlier. We're more violent. Is there a single thing that we're not winning at? We are number one. Anyway, Luxembourg is 4th. Luxembourg is a bizarre place. I spent 6 months there. It seemed like a lifetime. It's very quiet, and everyone there works in a bank. Oh. Everyone is very comfortably well off. They've all got shutters on the windows, and they leave the keys in their cars. They've got so little crime, or at least that's what I thought. They have little crime, but apparently they lock up more per head of population in prison than even we do. Luxembourg is just off the scale, but I think it's mostly people who have come into Luxembourg from the outside. I don't think the Luxembourgeois, mostly British people. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, we have a very bad reputation in Luxembourg. We do. We're considered thieves in Luxembourg.
Really?
It's true. Yeah, they look askance at British. Oh God, keep your hand on your wallet.
Isn't Luxembourg the size of Devon, or something like that?
Yeah, approximately that, yeah. They have umpa music in the square where everybody drinks large steins of beer and coffee with cream on the top, yeah. And it's almost like being in a Bavarian beer advert. It's really quite charming. But I wouldn't recommend living there. You drive through it somewhere else. It's lovely. At 30 miles an hour, looks super, but just don't stop, that's all.
Do you think Baldunicum could live there?
Anyway, these are the most satisfied places in Europe. Denmark, Finland, Sweden and Luxembourg. And we're way down, 10th. Even the people in Belgium are happier than we are, or more satisfied. And then they did happiest. What the difference between most satisfied and happiest is, I have no idea. But anyway, they delineated the two. The map of European happiness puts paid to long-standing national stereotypes. The sunny Mediterranean, for example, does not produce the sunniest people, unlike the chillier surrounds of Scandinavia. Everyone that's freezing cold, I suppose they're all tall and blonde and great-looking, and they're all having sex with each other. Not people who come and visit, not the stumpy, weird, freaky people who come from this country. They shun us, laugh and point as they're having tall, blonde sex with each other.
To keep warm.
And that's right.
You know what they're laughing at? Our white, pale legs.
Yeah, and our brown, wonky teeth, and our ugly mugs, and everything else that's wrong with us.
We are an ugly lot, aren't we?
We certainly are. Women are generally happier than men, with the old and the young tend to be happier than the middle-aged. And that's interesting, because the old and the young don't really have a care in the world, because the old have been there and done that, and they know that worrying about anything is silly, because life goes on anyway. And they've given up the search for wealth, because they're retired, right? And they whatever they've got is what they've got. So they're not out there searching around and going after goals and targets and all of that lot. Whereas everyone that's in the middle, which is us, We're constantly disappointed with life, with what we get. Isn't it disappointing?
Whose fault is that?
Val Doonican.
It is Val Doonican's fault, actually. You're absolutely right. Anyway, the happiest places in Europe: Denmark, Finland, Ireland, and then Sweden. And we're way down again, the United Kingdom. Everyone's like, oh, it's so miserable and everything's so boring and I hate it. That's you know, kind of like that.
Does it say which parts of the United Kingdom are the happiest?
Oh, I'm glad you asked me that. No. Here is Croydon. Hello, John.
Good morning, fellow citizen. How on earth could you possibly not know that Lego was invented in Denmark, bearing in mind the fact that Legoland is in Denmark?
No, Legoland is in, Berkshire.
Well, when I went to Legoland, it was in Denmark, and it still is. And there's another pretend
Well,
Legoland.
Disneyland is in France. It's not French.
Well, there's another pretend Legoland, which is in Windsor, but when I went to Legoland, when I was 12, it was in Denmark, and that was the only one.
Right, well, I guess that makes me stupid, then.
It was on the same day as the Iranian embassy siege. And yes, anybody who does not know that Denmark invented Lego
is stupid.
By definition,
Yeah.
stupid.
Okay, thanks for the news, John.
Globule.
Bulge. What is that, by the way? Come on, Chris, you've got to know. What is that?
I have no idea.
Now, Helen is getting up and leaving. She's had enough.
No, I'm not. I've lost my fob.
Your fob? That means you can never leave. Your key fob.
I know,
your
and I'm going on
security fob.
Yeah, I'm going on holiday to Yorkshire tomorrow.
To Yorkshire?
Aye, lad.
Holiday?
Yorkshire.
Holiday?
Aye, happen.
What are you going on holiday to Yorkshire for? Not that that's a crazy notion, mind, but,
It is.
What about going south? North?
No.
Would you want to go north? You could go as far north as Denmark, Finland, or Sweden, might be, and surround yourself with happy, good-looking, shiny, glossy people.
Isn't it like 5 degrees colder up north?
Well,
that's why they have to huddle together with their big, tall, blonde, beautiful huddles. That's why they're so happy. They can barely stop laughing.
That's why there's a high pregnancy rate.
Oh, in Yorkshire?
I don't believe that there is. No.
Oh, right.
It's socially unacceptable over there.
Oh, over there, I was talking about just up north.
Oh, Yorkshire. Oh,
have you never
notorious
holidayed?
for it. Huh?
Have you never holidayed in Yorkshire?
I've lived in Yorkshire for 6 months, if you call that lived.
Where did you live?
In Leeds.
Leeds.
Yeah, right smack bang in the middle. I liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, Leeds itself is not up to much, but what surrounds Leeds is fantastic.
That's where I'm going.
Are you going to go on, Ilkley Moor?
No, Hebden Bridge.
Oh, you want to go up on Ilkley Moor? You know what you won't forget on Ilkley Moor?
What?
Don't forget your... Huh?
Toothbrush?
Camera.
No.
Digital camera?
You must not go up on Ilkley Moor.
Hang on.
But...
Is it a song? Ilkley...
It is, actually, yeah.
Hang on, you're...
On Ilkley Moor...
Dun, 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 dun. Don't forget to lock your door.
Door more.
Don't forget to lock your door is the right answer. Oh, actually, no, it's not. It's the wrong answer, no. Don't go up on Ilkley Moor, but at. You must know that.
No.
But at?
But at?
No.
What are you saying?
Well, this is what
What's
I
he
said.
saying, Chrissy?
I don't know.
I thought aren't you from Yorkshire?
No,
Oh,
I'm
you're
from
Liverpool, right.
I'm a Lancashire... Oh, right, that's
Lancashire, right. Well, no wonder. It's a foreign language
No
to you.
idea.
Well, let me explain. Ilkley Moor, very windy, you see. And, when I were a lad, after, delivering my last loaf of brown bread, pushing my bike uphill, I went on Ilkley Moor. And I were told never to go up on Ilkley Moor bar at.
Right.
Bar at, I said. What's that then? Without your hat. And it would have to be a flat hat.
But if it's really windy,
yeah,
why would you take your hat?
So as to keep your hair in place?
But your hair's not going to blow away. Your hat's more likely to blow away.
You're being very difficult, Chris.
I'm just stating facts.
Here is, Langley. Hello, Dion.
All right, mate.
Dion.
We've got a couple of nice places round here.
Where?
We've got Lego.
You've got Lego?
Yeah, which used to be the old, Legoland. No, not Legoland. Winter Safari Park.
Are you alright, mate? Hey, have I talked to you already today?
I think you have, yeah.
You think I have? Well, it might have been you, it could have been somebody else, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And we've got, place in Beaconsfield called Beaconscott.
Right. Talking to you is like, because you leave gaps in your sentences and it feels like you're falling off a cliff.
No, I took a sleeping pill tonight.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What colour was it?
White.
Oh, white ones. Oh, right, man. Yeah. White
Yeah.
ones, yeah.
I bought them.
Is that gap again? Where did you buy
I don't know. It's gone from Boots.
Oh, Boots. What, without mentioning brand names? Boots, was it?
Yeah, they're like,
a high street chain of chemists, yeah, I know.
Yeah, but they're not...
Superdrug.
They're not nostril things.
You just want to fill in these gaps, don't you? Because it seems... You never know if it might end. It's just, oh, is he dead? Or,
No,
ambulances are rushing to the scene.
I couldn't get a sleep last
Right, okay. So you're on, what, like about 3 or 4 pills a night now, man? You can handle it. You just got a bit of a cold at the moment, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's on that 10:15. No, I'm not used to going to sleep this early.
Yeah, well, me too. All right, listen, thanks a lot, Dion. I'm not entirely certain that you're not asleep right now. But I can't...
Right, sounds like it.
I can't talk to you any further because we've only got 15 minutes to go and I haven't got time for one more sentence from you. Here's Travel with Amanda Redman.
Well, still those big problems on the trains we're watching.
90973. Nick Abbott.
No time for the old in and out, love. I've just come to read the meter.
So you got a lot of questions for me. I feel like I'm getting a bit of a second wind now because I was beginning to... Mentally, I was beginning to flag about 15 minutes ago. I thought, oh, I can't go on. But you were jivvying me from behind, poking me with a sharp stick.
That's right. I've hit my wall now.
Have you?
Yeah. Right, I'm going to say this very quickly then. Val Doonican.
Val Doonican.
Did you see a documentary on him on, I don't know, BBC 4 or 3?
No.
I watched 40 minutes of it and wanted to kill myself at the end.
Why was there a Val Doonican documentary on...
Question.
What was it about?
Him.
Doing...
Singing.
Singing?
Analysing why he wore those jumpers.
It was cold?
Yes, analysing why he sat in the rocking chair.
He was tired?
And then I thought, do you know what, we got to the end of watching this, well, not quite the end, and I thought, no wonder punk happened. Oh...
Val Doonican? Right.
Yeah.
See, Andy Williams, yes. Val Doonican? No.
No.
Is he famous, then?
Is who famous?
Val Doonican.
Val Doonican's very, very famous, probably the most famous person in the world.
My God, it's like talking to a 12-year-old. Is he famous? Oh, come on, Val Doonican. How old are you?
20-something. 5. That's it.
Suddenly it's like talking to Dion. 20... Right, Val Doonican. You must have heard of Val Doonican, surely. I mean, you've heard of Vera Lynn, right?
Yeah.
And you weren't born when she was around.
No.
Is Vera Lynn dead?
Yeah.
You'd expect so.
Oh, hang on. I don't know if she is.
Sounds like she's dead. She's got one of those names, you know, sounds like...
Vera,
I'm not sure if she is. I think she's still alive.
Oh, well, good for you, Vera. Well done, dear.
But Val Doonican...
Yeah, Val Doonican. Is he still alive?
What was his hit? Has he got...
Oh, I don't know. He was a... He's a... You know, he sang very well, not even middle of the road, I would say.
So how can you say he's, like, the most famous person in the world and you can't name a hit?
It's kind of irritating, isn't it? You just want to... sometimes you just need, like a stick, just to reach over and just bash him. How can you, though? He's quite right. How can you say he's the most famous person in the world?
Well, thank you.
That was an outrageous thing for you to say. You were lying, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't name a particular hit or song, but I can
Mhm.
tell you the general kind of feeling of
Yeah.
the songs was really
That
dull.
whole zeitgeist of that whole Val zeitgeist.
He's the most famously boring
Yes.
singer ever created.
Correct.
Well, it's a good job I haven't heard of him, man.
Yeah, and they had and they were wise enough to have a documentary.
And they had to document. It was an hour. We got through 40
an hour.
minutes. Realised we were both going into depression.
Yeah.
And switched over and watched The Passion of the Christ.
Did you?
Big mistake.
Really?
Yeah.
I decided that I wasn't going to watch that long ago. Like, as soon as it came out, I thought, right, I
Big
can't
mistake.
can't wait not to see that, I thought.
Is that the one with subtitles?
Mel Gibson can go and
Yeah.
take a flying jump at himself. Him and Russell Crowe, they can go take a jump with each other.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was one of the biggest mistakes. The other mistake,
Were you
filmically-
rooted to it? You watched it all the way through, though?
Watched it all the way through. Had a row with my mum about it
Really?
on the Sunday.
Who was right? Be honest.
Always me.
Right.
And so there's that film and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 2 films I wish I'd never seen in my life.
Paris Trout.
Well, not
is
seen
the,
it.
Is the one that I wish I'd never seen.
Really?
Oh, I think it's the only film. I think I mentioned this on Saturday on my Super Show as well. Which, if you haven't downloaded the podcast, by the way, Luby Lou has finally got her act together and has put it up correctly. And last Saturday's podcast is now available for everyone who has an appropriate machine. lbc.co.uk. Click on the LBC Plus button. Yeah.
What's it about, that film, then? Just
Paris
roughly.
Trout. It's
Yeah.
got Dennis Hopper in it, and if you ever see an interview with Dennis Hopper, it's the one movie that he's done that he never talks about ever. Never heard him mention it. And I went with there was a group of us. There was about like 3 girls and me and another bloke, and I said, "Oh, this is a Dennis Hopper film," because I just watched Blue Velvet, it being one of my favourite movies. So we must go and see a Dennis Hopper movie, and I don't think they've forgiven me to this day. We walked out halfway through. It wasn't just a bad film. It was deeply, nastily, viciously awful. Yeah, don't watch it. Believe me. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, on the other hand, is virtually a walk in the park compared to Paris Trout.
No, I
Well, you
haven't.
don't actually see any gore and...
Which one, the original or the remake?
I haven't seen the
original.
remake.
Pardon?
I haven't seen the remake.
No.
I've only seen the remake.
Right. Oh, well, get you. Aren't you modern and up to date?
Yeah.
So you had some more questions for me?
Oh, yes. My final one is, have you seen...
Final? Where was the... No, you haven't given me any questions yet.
Well, I was hoping that Val Dunicum would...
Would set me off.
Set
Right,
you
did he
know,
do
the
this
phones
one?
alight.
No, that was his close personal friend, Des O'Connor. In fact, given the choice between
Yeah.
the two, Des is a winner by a mile.
miles.
Yeah. Is he still on TV in the afternoon? Because he
Doing
is...
the countdown.
What?
Doing countdown.
Is he doing Countdown now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That stupid show. Or it's not stupid. It's too intelligent for me. Is what it is.
Oh,
I can
yeah.
never figure out those things. And that music. I mean, I just can't stay in the same room as it.
And Carol.
Well, Carol's all right. How can you not like Carol?
No.
She's a giant brain in a dress. What's wrong with that?
Do a bit of math.
Do a bit of maths. She is just like a human calculator, really, isn't it?
No, she's good at that, but she's a bit irritating.
Is she irritating because she's good at that?
No. She's irritating because she's Carol.
Well, it's no great intelligence to be able to do that. It's just a skill, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, but that's not handy anymore in a world of calculators, is it?
her. She's been usurped by a small piece of electronica. Yeah. This, on the other hand, can never be taken over by a robot. You can robotize music radio, but you can't automate talk.
Not yet.
They're working on it.
Are we there yet?
Nearly, we're closer. It's just...
LBC 97.3 0870 90 90 973. Nick Abbott.
Come on, we're running late!
So your question was... Well, maybe I should take this one because, and then we can deal with Val, and then we can come to your final question. I didn't hear the initial questions, but never mind. Trixie!
Hello.
Yes, Trixie.
You didn't mention Val Dunicum's horrible jumpers.
Well, we did in passing, yeah.
Oh, you did? Oh, I'm sorry. I must have been feeding the cat at that precise moment. Well, I suppose it was, as you were saying, he's enough to make you sick, so...
Well, that's a bit unkind.
It was a bit unkind, yes. Tell you what did happen to me when I was a kid. I was at a disco. I was really, really young, and I come from a very old-fashioned family. And I actually went up to the DJ and asked for Val Doonican or Des O'Connor.
At a disco?
I know. I was, I think 9 or 10 or something.
Oh.
And it was, as I said, it was a very old-fashioned home life. And I was very upset when they didn't play it. My friends were horrified. It was really embarrassing.
Oh, well, we live and learn, eh, Trixie?
Indeed.
Was this one Val Doonican?
No. Don't think so.
No.
No.
All right. Thanks a lot, Trixie.
All right. Bye.
Ta-ta. Who was that, by the way? That
No
was, I can't remember. Someone will know. Anyway, your question.
Do you know why Val Doonican's jumper... Do you want to know this?
What? What's the question?
Well, do you know why Val Doonican's jumpers had shapes on them and lines and patterns? This is the documentary, how interesting it got at one point.
What, did viewers knit them and send them in to him?
Not originally, no.
Because people keep sending Jon Snow ties, don't they? Jon Snow's the guy who fumbles his way through the Channel 4 news. And they keep sending him ties because that's become his trademark now. Interesting ties. It kind of takes your eye off the fact that he doesn't appear to be a terrific interviewer, to my ears.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're dazzled by the tie so much that you can't tell. But anyway, okay, let me ask you this,
Do you want to know the answer?
Well, let me ask you a question.
Go on.
Why? You know, I was thinking this the other day. Why, in fact, Chris and I were having a chat about this. Why did Val Doonican have patterns and lines on his jumper, Helen?
Well, Nick and Chrissy, because when he first appeared on television, it was only transmitted in black and white.
Right.
So to make, and then people look grey, didn't they, generally? So to make him look, to bring him out.
To make him look interesting.
To make him look interesting, his wife started buying and knitting jumpers that had patterns on. That's how fascinating that documentary was.
Well, at least it took up an hour of public service broadcasting.
And then we got shown the jumpers and...
Did you? Oh, well, you should have said, shown the jumpers you were. Well,
comments from Val about the jumpers.
What,
comments.
Val himself?
Yeah, he spoke about his jumpers, the wife. Oh, dear.
And this was on the BBC? Our money safe in their hands.
4 or 3, I can't remember, probably 4.
Well, yeah, probably not 3. If it was on 3, I wouldn't have seen it, because I don't believe I've ever seen anything on BBC 3. What is BBC 3 actually for? Nobody has any idea. Hands up who knows. Chris is looking perplexed. BBC 3 is going... Have they got that?
Every time they add a new channel, though, our licence fee goes up. Have you noticed?
Stop whining.
My other question...
Oh, there's another one.
Have you seen a film called Grizzly Man by Werner Herzog?
No, I have not.
It's brilliant.
I doubt that.
It is.
Is it German?
No.
Is it, Dutch?
It's American. It's a documentary. It's about a guy who thinks he's a bear and goes and lives with bears for 13 years.
That sounds very interesting.
It is.
Right, Ian Lee will be back tomorrow, assuming he doesn't have another high-paid gig to go to, or whatever it was he was doing today. I'm Nick Abbott. I'll be back Saturday night. And Clive is coming in next. Clive is a man who always puts the lotion in the basket.